All right. So let me see. Comments. Yes, click on. I need to be able to see the comments. If I don't see the top comments, then there's. Yeah. Okay. So here we are. Finally. Yeah. Okay. So.
Oops. Mute that. There we go.
So I
can do the chats and things.
Okay, so I guess we should introduce ourselves. I, of course, am Darth Paradigm of Darth Paradigm's Illuminated Blades, the resident General Grievous that has too many lightsabers, and I like to review the lightsabers, and I like to demo sound fonts, and pretty much I limit myself mostly to lightsaber content. A lot of the other channels kind of have branched out a bit. I that is kind of the main of my focus, but who knows, the future can go different places, as survival, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
My friend Gray Paladin, you're here.
Yeah. Your turn. Hey, Saber fans, this is Gray Paladin. Well, this has been a long time coming. Darth Paradigm and I have been talking off the record and really trying to coordinate the best time for us to do something that we haven't really seen before in the Saber community, and that is do a live unboxing of not one but two sabers. And him and I both got the same saber, but in different variants. And we'll leave it to you to guess who has which. But if you follow either of our channels, you can probably guess the style of Darth Paradigm and the style of Grey Paladin, and guess what variant or style of saber that we each chose. But I'm really been looking forward to this, and I know it's my fault. We actually had our sabers over a week now, and a big apology and thank you to Darth Paradigm for being able to grit his teeth and hold on to not unboxing his saber until I was ready to go, because I'm across the pond and it takes me a little bit longer to get.
Well, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That's right. And because of that, I was able to do the 4-month-long wait for my Mark II count from Saberforge, but we'll save that for the end of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we'll try to address all of your comments and questions down below the best we can, but we want to really get down to getting the sabers out and then getting some
you want to go for
on-the-fly
right
reviews. Sure, why not? Oh, but before we do, let's first toast all of our viewers and each other with our nice, refreshing cold brewskis here. May the force be with us, my friend.
What? Now, I already snipped the tape on mine. I actually cheated and looked inside just to make sure that there was actual stuff in here, but I did not look at anything other than nothing else was unwrapped. Yeah, what happened to your box?
Yeah, my box didn't quite handle the. Yeah, yours is pristine, right? Yours is pristine, and mine's a tad beat up. So,
I just want to say hello to everybody in the chat. I'm kind of keeping an eye out over there, but I'm if I miss you, if I don't acknowledge you, just because I'm absolutely exhausted. It's been a rough week. Last week was a rough week. The week before that, yada ad infinitum.
By all means, there, Commander Dale, please pour yourself a scotch and join us. And Jim, we are doing very well after a long week. We're excited to get these sabers unboxed for all of you.
Commander Dale has a good scotch.
Yeah, it's got the good stuff.
I hope so.
Right. You're already a step ahead of me, Scott, so I'm just going to try to catch up and get this tape on done.
Drinking 6-point resin from Brooklyn, New York.
I'm drinking 8.4 from Baldur, Belgium. I don't know where Baldur is, but
6-point resin is the 6 point is the name of the company.
Ah,
Ah,
not the
yes.
ABV. Okay.
The actual beer itself is 9.1.
You've definitely got me beat tonight. I think I've only got 8%ers over here.
You kicked my ass the last time. You done unboxing?
Well, I think it kicked my ass last time.
You were having a good time.
All right, Saber fans. So Scott and I decided to both order some Eco Sabers that came in stock, and so each of us decided that, hey, you know, the Defender looks really good. So we both decided to order one, and we were talking. We ordered at the same time, but ironically, his shipped a day before mine did. Well, but one of us got a weathered finish, and the other got a standard pristine finish. So we'll leave it to you to guess in the comments down below who got which finish.
Famous Klaus whiskey from Scotland. That sounds good. Sounds strong. Now, all right, blade. I've got blade.
So what length blade did you get? The favorite
32.
32?
Yeah.
I had a few 32s, and I only had one 26, so I decided to get another 26 incher.
What do you think about the threading inside the blades here? Does that kind of?
Yeah, you know, honestly, oh wow, I've actually got some gray residue, like it's been sitting in a hilt or something. That's not cool.
Mine's not too. I mean, you always have like this spot where there's like a whole bunch of glue kind of holding the diffusing film in place.
Yeah, and it looks terrible if you have the wrong hilt and you can see it illuminated in there. Ugh.
The thing is, it's like if the diffusing film falls out, the solution is to use gravity and go like, I don't know why they shouldn't really need to glue them into place, because I don't know, it's just like a thing that they do. I mean, the blades themselves are amazing. They're a little bit too heavy.
Really sturdy. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, the weight is a bit much. I remember some of your earlier videos when you were swinging with these, you were saying how like your wrist would be your arm would be thrashed after like swinging for a couple of hours or whatever. I agree. These are really heavy, but I mean, they're highly durable. I don't know if any other blade is more durable than a Infinity V4.
Hold on, I gotta do this. Hold on.
All right, so Chespin guessed that you got the weathered finish.
Yeah,
which means that he's assuming that I got the standard finish. I don't know. We shall see. I don't know if you're right. If you're wrong, I guess we'll find out.
I prefer Vader's Vault blade. That's what he's telling me. You gotta get a clear blade, man. You gotta get a clear blade. You're killing me. And I'm always getting the translate blade.
Yeah, I think Vader's Vault, actually one of the first blades that I ordered that did not come with a saber was from Vader's Vault. And I have all of my day blades from Vader's Vault. And I think they have great blades.
Their blades are phenomenal for the price, you know?
Yeah. However, Saber Trio's blades are still my favorite. They just look so good when you light them up.
I do love Saber Trio's blades. It's just it's hard getting hands on them because, you know, well, for me outside the States, you know, having a ship from Malaysia, I mean, you can't even buy blades from them anymore unless you get the hilt. But I hear that they are going to be opening for, I believe they're going to be doing a Black Friday event.
Okay, good.
So
plan for that.
I don't know. Maybe they'll come out with some new hilts and. Ooh! Hey, who's in charge of the drum roll? I didn't bring a drum roll machine. I guess that would be you.
Okay, right. So here's the charger. And okay, shall we do a dual?
And then you have
let me get my card out of here. Yeah, there's the LGT description card there. Smooth swing baselit saber. Yeah.
See let me hide this so we can
cable. Okay. Shall we?
Yeah. Now this is my third Defender. I have a Gen 2 or Gen 1, Gen 2, like one of the original ones.
When the recharge port was on the bottom.
I have like a Gen 3, which when they used to just come with one single color and like the sound font depended on the color that you got. Remember that whole debate every time someone would get one? It's like, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't come with crimson, it comes with meridian.
Meridian.
No, meridian comes with the purple. It's just like everyone
I
would
remember
argue.
that,
It's
yeah.
like, but I got a blue with crimson. All right. I'm going for it, man.
Oh, you're just slowly going. Okay, here
I'm,
we
like,
go.
I'm almost there. I gotta wait. Let's strip.
Wait. Okay, yeah, I'm about there. Not too. You can kind of already see mine.
Yeah.
And she
Alright.
is
New saber
revealed.
time.
And there she is. Well, Chespin was correct. Scott got the weathered, and I got the standard finish. Okay. I remember the old pictures. They had the recharge port and switch further apart, and I see they adjusted that now, so they're closer together, which means now you can use other
Yes.
cores.
That has become
awesome.
standard for all of their hilts. Now you can swap them. This is okay. What I'm about to do with my hand, if I did that with my, well, that really looks suggestive. But if I were to, let's just do that. Well, that looks suggestive too. How about that's suggestive? Everything's suggestive. All right. Let's just finger it. Wait a minute. That's damn.
But
if
yeah,
I did like on the previous version, I would lacerate myself, which means I would cut myself right to the bone. This is nice and smooth.
Which is a huge change, because I always felt like Saberforge never smooths out after they machined the hilts. And honestly, I just like you said, I was expecting to touch this and scratch myself, but no, this feels perfectly fine to me.
Saberforge's weathering game is on point.
You know, that looks much better than in the past.
I think, okay, I've got the advantage of being prepared and having right here said previous generation of the Defender. And I have to say that the new hilt is easily about 3/4 of an inch longer.
Oh yeah,
completely redesigned from front to back.
You can really see.
Actually, no, this is completely wrong. This is the Gen 1. I thought I had the other one down here, but I think that one's upstairs. So what I just said, take it with a grain of salt, because there's an interim generation that's probably more similar to this than this. But damn it, I thought I was prepared. I am a fool. Okay. Anyway, there'll be comparison videos at some point. And so what do you think?
You know, it's simple, but I like it very much. I especially like the emitter. And I have to say, like, I'm a big fan of windows, but it's really nice to have a saber that has a classy emitter without windows.
I love the grill effect.
Yeah,
it has that
almost like Luminara's saber, you know, and Plo Koon and that.
Yeah, exactly. This is essentially just a clan saber. It's like a simplified.
Yeah, it's a clan.
Saber.
Yeah.
And I really like what they've done. You know, with the switch section, they've really. I mean, they didn't just like, you know, put the holes next to one another. They actually like aesthetically design it so it looks rather fetching. And I'm actually I'm pleased that they have the screws on the top rather than trying to do the thing with the screws on the bottom.
On the back. Yeah.
I like that, but what happens is the button tends to flop around a little bit with that design, and this is a little bit more secure. And I also like how the switch is actually recessed a little bit into it, but not as much as say with the flight, the fallen flight.
Oh, that's just way too much.
Yeah, this is just a nice amount of depth. Whoops. And again, none of this is sharp.
Yeah, I've got my Fallen Flight here, and when you see like that, is just way too much. I mean, you can really see how deep
Yeah, that's
recessed
what,
that
like
is.
about an eighth of an inch of
But
depth.
this makes way more sense. Yeah.
So now we have to do the next step. We don't even know if these things are charged. Oh, actually, here's another thing I really like. I like they actually have a pommel insert now protecting the speaker, and you can see there's a bass speaker in here. Let's actually.
Oh yeah, you're right. There is. Yep.
It's probably just the typical speaker that the LGT style. I'm really curious to see what I mean, I've seen the videos. I just don't remember like what sound phones they had. I think it's pretty much the standard fare, but
now I'm gonna grab my my Gen 3 Stalwart, and because I know like the Defender was came out around the same time, and they're essentially about the same size, but yeah, actually the Stalwart is just a hair longer than the Defender, so they're on par with the same size. But when you look at the Gen 5s, I mean, the Gen 5s, I think really just knock it out of the park as far as design goes and size. Like this is more like an apprentice hilt than an Eco Saber, in my opinion. But even still, I like this Defender a lot, and the choke seems bigger than your previous version that you have. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is, and I'm convinced that this is actually longer than the more recent, the Gen. It's probably like a Gen 3 or 4, and but what really strikes me is the choke is it's a very subtle choke, but it's actually really reliable. Just
it gets the job done.
Short of the end of the emitter, so you don't burn yourself.
I like that choke a lot because I thought that on the Stalwart it was solid. I know you have this saber too, but it always felt like it was just a tad bit small. But this I feel like really makes up the difference between seeing this little silver ring and actually having a nice wide choke. I mean, that's nice.
This just gives me a vibe like if you were a Force user, Jedi or Sith, that this would be just sort of maybe an offhand saber, but or just one that you would carry on your person, maybe not your main armament, in case you lose your. I don't know. It just seems like a really capable, either like a primary weapon or even like a secondary weapon. But
I was going to say a secondary, like you said, like a spare or backup. If you lose or drop or break something, you got this on hand to keep you in the fight or keep you from dying.
So you want to put these things up?
Yeah, let's see how. See if we got some power here.
Power on.
Oh, he actually enunciates power on versus
Hello,
power on.
Enunciation.
Well, shall we fire up in 3, 2,
2, 1?
Oh, that's Scavenger's Destiny on mine.
What?
It says Scavenger's Destiny is on mine right now. Usually I'm not a huge fan of the Eco Smooth Swing board, but this one actually sounds okay to me right now. I feel like they maybe optimized it or enhanced it.
The Eco Smooth Swing soundboard has been improving slightly. I think they've made adjustments to the accelerometer.
Although I'm still hearing that glitch.
It does have the glitch still. The thing where you're spinning it.
Yeah, it does that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I agree.
What is
I'm
that?
not disappointed at all.
Princess.
You know what's cool is even though it's an LGT electronic core, but I feel like they've done their own little thing just for Saberforge. Like the menu voice is different than what we've used to hearing, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
You know, you can actually understand what he's saying. Yeah, it's Princess.
Wait, Clark. The high ground.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. This sounds really good. I'm very happy with this.
It's almost worth considering putting a Profi core into this thing. I would say easily.
Yeah.
The high ground.
That's General Kenobi.
The count.
Commander Dale asked what sound card these have, and it's just a standard LGT Eco smooth swing 9 font variety, but they have their own boot up sounds for each of the sound fonts. The Saberforge probably has a proprietary board specifically for themselves with a male voice,
And it sets them apart from
but
everyone
essentially,
else. I mean,
it seems like and like you said, he enunciates. You can hear the fallen.
those are my colors here.
The Dark Lord.
The Dark Lord. This seems different.
I tell you what, Count Dooku's sound font is still one of my favorites. It just it feels so good to hear that sound. His hum, everything. I need to do just a sound font review or analysis on just Count Dooku's. There's so many things to say about it.
The Dark Sword. The Fallen.
I have to say, Scott, you're right that just what I've seen on the screen, Saberforge has stepped up their weathering game because I feel like that looks much better than what I've seen in the past. The fact that you still see like some silver, it's not just like a scratched black, you know. Like sure they machined it like everything else, but it still looks much better than what I've seen in the past.
What they used to do is they used to do this. The style kind of made it look like a tree. It would be kind of like just ring. These like weird rings. It didn't really look like weathering unless you were sitting there going like this.
This
Constantly.
This is the old weathering, and there's nothing to it. It's just a bit of edging, and like I said, you can see all the rings.
That's
but
actually not as bad as some of the weathering that I've seen. Where like I've seen people selling hilts, and they just look so unnatural.
Unnatural.
Like a Cheshire
Cat. It was on a machine. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas this just kind of looks like it's really kind of been through the ringer. It's mostly.
It looks more faded than anything, like just wear and tear from the hands.
You can see the aluminum just kind of like it's been exposed by the black anodization being, and it's still kind of weird, but like it works. It just makes it look dirty, grimy. Mm-hmm. It works. I do enjoy it. They did that with my Eco. What the hell is it called? The I can't remember the name of it. It's the one with the wrap that I have that kind of looks like a scrap flex. I can't remember what it's called. I'd have to look it up too. One of the newer ones. It's one of the Gen 7s.
While you're doing that, I'll try to address some of the comments here.
Thank you.
So yes, Commander Dale. I think it's worth getting another Eco Saber because I mean there aren't a huge amount of improvements, but there's enough to make it noticeably a better lightsaber than the previous generation. And Anxious Respawn, most definitely. I think these are now. They did up the price on the Eco Sabers because they gave it the smooth swing, where before it didn't have that. So I think they're like what 140, 145, something like that now. But I mean
150.
but that's still, I mean, on par with any other LGT reseller as far as a basic hilt goes. And I feel like the Saberforge Eco Sabers are just, I prefer those designs more than most of the reseller basic hilts that are out there. Let's see.
Commander Dale, if you get a katana, and if you can put a review on YouTube, I don't see anybody putting reviews of that hilt up, because I think it's mostly because it's such a simple design. I think a lot of people like that's always the last one that sells. But I mean, now the katana sabers are kind of the the way. With Visions having just come out and whatnot, I think that hilt could look good with a wrap or something to that effect. Not that it doesn't look good all.
Ike, you're asking about the lead time. So I'll say for if you get like an apprentice or a hero or an elite saber, I ordered a Count Mark II back in June, and it finally shipped 2 days ago. So I should be seeing that very soon. But that was 4 months before I saw that. The Eco Sabers are much better. Scott, what was it, like a week? And then we got a shipping notification on these? Or was it 2 weeks?
No, I think it was 2 weeks for me, and
2 weeks.
For you, it was like just a matter of a few extra days.
Yeah, I think I was a day after yours. And I think Saberforge puts on their website the lead time is 2 to 4 weeks, but ours shipped in 2 weeks. So, I mean, I think that's fair for what you're getting. I mean, it's not like a reseller where they ship it in a couple of days, but I think 2 weeks is, pretty fair, especially given the market now. Yes, Skywalker, you're right. And Saberforge is putting a lot of empties up on their Etsy shop. And I almost ordered one, but I told myself, don't order any more empties until you've installed the ones I already have. So I'm not letting myself do that. But and the Etsy shop is the fastest way to go for Saberforge. You order that, usually they ship it out within a week. So I'm going to do like just a preliminary walkthrough on this. And if starting from the emitter, there we go. You have these rings going all the way around. It's almost like a microphone, or it has a very clan saber look and feel to it. Counting the rings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 if you count the very bottom. So this is a really nice feel. And then there's a choke here, which is a little wider than its predecessor, which is very nice. And I think once the blade is in, this is probably going to feel very good to spin. On the back side, you have a rectangle that kind of wraps around the backside of the switch section. And Scott pointed this out. The way the switch and recharge port is designed here with the screws that hold the chassis in place, it's much more aesthetically pleasing because they tuck that in the flute section here. And the previous Defender, the recharge port and the switch were much further apart, so you couldn't swap out LGT cores. But with this one, you can do that now. So if you wanted to get just the base, and then if you have a Profi core laying around, you can easily insert that into the new Defender. And I think it's probably safe to assume that if they adjusted the Defender, they probably adjusted all of the other Eco Sabers too to be able to match. Then we've got some flutes in the body, and the body is nice and wide. So this is easily a two-handed saber if you want. But given that it's an Eco Saber and how small it is, I would probably say it's a more comfortable one-handed saber, but you could double up on it if you wanted to. The pommel is simple, but I think, it's simple, but it really gets the point across. Yeah, I like this is probably the only edge that I might be a little concerned about is this very bottom part, but now that I've actually held it for a while, it's not as
No.
bad as when I first picked it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think everything on the Saber is fine. There's
Seems to be
no
free and
alterations
fair.
needed on this. And I do like the fact that they added an insert for the in the pommel there, so you can't bust the speaker. All in all, this is a quality saber. I mean, Saberforge Eco sabers, I'm on board. Well, I mean, especially for the price. I mean, hell, you can't argue. And the soundboard is improved. I mean, I like the font announcement from the guy. He's actually articulate. You can understand what he's saying. I mean, the smooth swing actually sounds good compared to the other LGT. I think it was the V6 board. I thought
Yeah, I
was
think
not
so.
that great, but this one's much better.
The thing with Saberforge is that with every generation, they don't just kind of rehash the same thing. They definitely go out of their way to improve upon their product. And I've seen from the very beginnings of this series of sabers, and every single generation is a marked improvement over the previous one. And I would say that now what I'm seeing here is they've kind of taken care of any of the issues that this particular hilt design had. And power to them. So here's our blade depth. My finger indicates that, you know, we've got about 3 inches, maybe 3.5 inches.
Yeah.
Blade depth. So that's decent. You can see the tricrete. It's actual tricrete. Look at that. Which is pretty amazing. Let's see.
Darth Rage. Yeah. Yes, we brought the same sabers, but his is weathered and mine is standard finish. But that was a goal. I mean, him and I had
bring that up and be wrong.
I'd say it's impressive. Most impressive.
Most impressive. The saber's oh wow. I can find a different sound font. Is that the default? Yours was just came out of the box that?
No, mine was blue, but it has a flicker. It's probably not showing up. But yeah. Let me see. Yeah, it has a flicker. No, this sounds good. I mean, I have to piggyback on what you said, Scott, about every time Saberforge does an update or a new generation on a saber, it is noticeably better than its predecessor, and I think that's really good that they do that. You know, sometimes people say, "Oh, it's a Mark II," and you look at it and you can't tell what the difference is. But these, you can noticeably tell that there's an improvement. It feels better, it looks better, it performs better.
Bear with me. I can't hear a damn thing you're saying. I'm just trying to get a decent read off this thing, but I don't know if it's the battery. Okay, here we go.
This is Vader.
Here's an observation. Just from sitting here looking at the soundboard cycle through all the colors, I've noticed that the color transitions are different than on other LGT soundboards, and I think that it's a little bit slower because, I mean, it took a while for me to get to the red. I was starting to get concerned that there was an issue with what was happening here, but I was noticing that it's a different transition process, and seems to be a little bit slower so you can actually fine tune that color, because occasionally you'll try to get like an actual cyan or some kind of weird limey green or maybe that specific blood orange, some specific color, and you have to really time it because with the older soundboard it goes really quickly. I find that this will
It
go out
does.
slower, and I think that's intentional because I think they're basically trying to give people the time to
And it gives you time to choose the color. I remember there's a few times it was going so fast, which was nice because you want to get your color. But if you didn't anticipate and press it on time, you missed your color, and you have to cycle
Yeah.
through the whole thing all over again. So
And that risks
slower is
damaging
good.
the soundboard. I mean, anytime that I've had one of these soundboards die on me, it's because I was trying to get that color and cycling through a few too many times, and it just didn't care for it. You know what I'm noticing? The weight, the balance of this thing, even with a 32-inch.
It feels great.
This is perfect.
Yeah, it's just enough.
I
It feels
I
good.
am so rarely able to just like swing one of these saber.
And this is with a heavy grade blade too at that.
Yeah.
So that's saying something. So Commander Dale, yes, it's a tri-cree and it does make a difference. So one thing that's nice about a tri-cree is you get 3 die, and it allows you to have the multicolors, usually RGB, red, green, and blue. But if you choose to go the same color, sometimes you want to do like red, red, white, or something like that. It gives you a deeper, more pure color. So tri-cree is always going to be better than a single, for sure.
Another observation I just made. I was checking the blade effects and the pulse. Traditionally, on the other LGT Eco smooth swing soundboards, the pulse is more of a just kind of a rapid flicker. But on this one, it's actually like a actual pulse. I don't know if you can see it, but here.
Oh wow, this beer is amazing.
Subtle, but it's actually pulsing in and out, and it's a proper pulse. I mean, it's not going to.
It has a more natural feel or more realistic feel.
Yeah,
Because there's nothing natural about these things.
Well, I mean, yeah. Now,
but yeah, it has a more realistic feel to it. By the way, I just tried this for the first time, and this beer is really, really good. Belgian Blonde.
Low volume.
Mute.
Oh, did you hear that?
Oh, mute.
It said clearly mute.
Yeah,
Nice.
mute.
Nice. I'm really digging this.
Is it 2 blinks for volume when it's off?
It's 2 blinks for blade effect, 1 blink to go to change the volume.
The volume, okay.
Volume low.
Stable blade. Oh, it's nice to have an actual legitimate class.
And the clash sensitivity is much better too. Before I felt like you had to really pound it to get it to work, but I don't have to pound this one. The clash register is pretty good.
It's very responsive.
Yeah.
All the way up and down the blade too.
Yep.
And it's really bright. Very, very bright.
Ike, so with the Eco Sabers, there's only 2 options for electronics, and that's the Eco version, which is like Eco Smooth Swing, like you see in a lot of the LGT Sabers, and there's the Profi Core. We both went with the Eco because we already have Profi Cores, and it's much cheaper. So I think if you go Eco, it's like $145 or something like that, and if you go Profi, it's like $330, something like that. So I guess we went with the Eco tier if there is a tier for it, but these are only offered. This board is only offered in the Eco Sabers. If you do an Apprentice, Elite, or any other type of saber, you're getting the Golden Harvest. Well, before it was Saber Core, but now it sounds like all the electronics are going to be Golden Harvest, which is a huge step for Saberforge 2, I think. Nothing against Saber Core. I mean, it's reliable, it works, but I mean, if you have better options out there, then go ahead and use them. So them making that move to doing everything Golden Harvest, or I guess the veteran tier has like a eco version of Golden Harvest, something like that, which I hear is going to be great. So pretty much now, actually, we can officially say this now, Scott. Every saber you order, no matter what the tier, is going to be Smooth Swing from Saberforge now.
Yeah, I think that's obviously their plan. What I think that's pretty much what Saber Trio was shooting for by switching purely over to CFX and ditching out, the Pico Crumble that they used to use for their FX sabers. Although I do like the Pico Crumble, but once you have 2 or 3 of them, and once you have 2 or 3 of them, I kind of wish that they, maybe would still offer the Nano Biscotti V4 as an option.
The Dark Sword.
But
it's amazing that after all these years, the Nano Biscotti still holds up as a solid, reliable board. I mean, it sounds good.
Favorites, yeah. But
my Blue Force Saber, like every time I swing that Nano Biscotti, I enjoy it. It feels good.
I mean, the Nano Biscotti V4 is the core to my Conspirator from JQ Sabers, and that saber's pretty much, when I leave this mortal coil, that thing's being buried with me. I love that thing. Actually, I'm probably gonna end up being buried with at least 20 sabers. We don't have room for the bike.
Yeah.
Okay, just get a separate.
Just get rid of the body. Just incinerate it, put the ashes in, and fill the rest with sabers.
Oh wow, we could totally just cremated him and then put him in there with all the sabers and everything. Hey, who dug this up? Ike. Anyway.
Chespin just brought up a good point. He's saying now that with the veteran tier, you have the option of single color or RGB on the veteran, which is
I
cool.
really like that.
Me too.
I wish that I had all the money in the world. I would love to order the Renegade. I'd like to get the Renegade with the with the higher the RGB veteran board.
Mm-hmm.
I'd really like to try that. I saw the demo for that soundboard, and I mean, it looked like it could give the flight a run for its money. It's just you're paying for the hilt is obviously a lot bougier, and they they can make those things. So I would actually like to, going back a bit, I'd really like to now at this point I'd like to see what Saberforge's Profi Core performs like. I mean, if they and customize the Profi board like this is fine tuned. I mean, it still has its flaws, its performance flaws, but there's a lot of things that they've done to this, minor little adjustments that I really like.
Me too. This might be I'm going to be swinging this one all weekend long. I can already tell because this feels good. I like it, and I like the core that's in here right now too. Yeah, this was a good purchase. I have no regrets whatsoever on this.
It has just a solid feel too. The blade just feels solid in here.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Around. The champion still doesn't offer RGB.
Yeah, now that's interesting because if the veteran tier is going to have an eco, a more affordable board that's not customizable, which I'm okay with. It's a veteran tier, but it still gives you smooth swing. But it offers, a single color and an RGB version. But the champion tier doesn't. Now, this is one thing that I'm really confused about with Saberforge, which doesn't really make sense. The Golden Harvest board obviously can support Tricree and NeoPixel, but you're going to have your champion tier only a single color, and the hero tier gives you RGB with an option of also getting NeoPixel, but the veteran tier gives you RGB. So I kind of feel like, this champion tier is kind of like that bastard middle child. It's like, why spend that money? Or why bother?
It's
Because
like
I think
you're
going
shortchanging
from
yourself.
champion to hero, the difference of price really isn't that much.
For like just a real off base comparison that doesn't even, I mean, if we want to talk about like a nonsensical, levels between like, the insulation, when Ultra Sabers offers whatever their obsidian, not the light but the other one, the next tier up, and then like if you spend $10 more, you go from having one sound font to being able to do their 7 crappy sound fonts. Right? It's like $10. One sound font. Like, why would you have a $10 variation like that? Like, I mean, like if you're gonna buy it, that would just doesn't make sense to me. But the whole having the champion here I mean, just you're underutilizing the Golden Harvest V3 massively. It just seems like, I mean, yes, it's nice to give people a lot of options,
Yeah.
but I mean,
now I get it with the veteran tier, and honestly, if I can recover from the count and everything else, I actually really do want to get an apprentice hilt with the veteran tier sound, and I really want to review that and see what it's going to be like. I feel that with the champion, when you're wiring, because I as you know, I install sabers myself, and I've wired RGB or Tricree in hilt LEDs, and to wire let's say a blue white is no different than wiring an RGB. So I just don't see why the champion tier only has the single color now. And I think it was who was it down here that made a comment? Was it Turtle Memes? Yeah, Turtle Memes. Make the hero tier just the NeoPixel with all the bells and whistles, and then give the option of single or Tricree or RGB with the champion tier, but no NeoPixel. And then just put your price difference based on the NeoPixel. But all the fonts and everything else should still be the same. I mean, to be honest with you, they could really just eliminate champion tier altogether and just have drop downs for, do you want this to be RGB? Do you want it to be single color? Do you want NeoPixel? And just be done with it. It should just be basic electronics and then full on. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, they're kind of stuck on the system that they've had in place since the beginning, and part of their marketing strategy. And if they wanted to, they could probably just structure their website similar to Saber Trio / Electrum Sabercrafts, which is essentially the same exact website layout now. If anybody hasn't gone to the Electrum Sabercrafts website, they've completely changed it, and it looks very much like the Saber Trio website. Where it's not so much like these weird the weird nomenclature for the different levels. They should, like you said, they should just have drop down,
streamline it,
and then have the price like adjust, and at that point you'll probably avoid a lot of confusion, because I can rightly see someone ordering a champion tier thinking, oh man, I've had champion tier in the past, it was the shit, and then looking at the making their decision, placing the order, and then realizing, oh, for only this much more I could add this or that. Sort of like,
and it's not that much more.
I mean,
if you're already going to drop those dollars, you might as well just go ahead and put the extra $30-$40 and get the next level or whatever.
If anybody's ever watched any of Gordon Ramsay's shows, he'll go into a someone's restaurant, and they'll have a menu with like 30,000 things available on their menu. And what you really need to do is just like have a few select things that you do very well, rather than just trying to overdo it. And I just feel like maybe this is just too many options, and it just leaves yourself. I don't know. Maybe it works for them.
Yeah. Well, sometimes too many options is a bad thing, because you don't know where to begin or where to even to go with it. And Saberforge gives you a lot of options. I mean, you got Eco, Apprentice, Elite, Crystal, Exotic, ASP. I mean, there's so much out there. I'm going to do a shameless plug here. I have a video. My last video on my channel was my thoughts on Saberforge. So check that out. And you can kind of get a little more in depth about what I think about Saberforge. But I think overall, they've improved a lot. And I still think that they have the best Eco Sabers in the market. I mean, I will take a Saberforge Eco Saber over any LGT reseller any day. But that's just me. And now I feel like their electronics, they went with a better core option, where before they kind of did their own Saberforge kind of LGT core, and it wasn't very good. But this one I like a lot. It was worth the upcharge, I think.
Turtle Helm memes. I haven't been in the game that long. I don't remember. I actually kind of wish that there was like an archive of Saberforge hilts that have been retired, and Saberforge electronics, like a listing of all of their different soundboards. I'd really like, because I have some really unusual pieces from Saberforge, and occasionally I'll be out hunting, and I'll see something, and it'll obviously be a Saberforge hilt, but it's something that I've never seen before, and it'd be really nice to have kind of like some kind of resource where you can identify a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you need one of those just for like Nigon Electronics, soundboards. I mean, he produced so many different versions, and even Plector Labs. I mean, there's so many different variations of soundboards and companies producing hilts. I mean, even on some like weird level, I wouldn't mind seeing like what Ultra Sabers was doing like right at the beginning, just for shits and giggles, But like once these things get replaced and they get taken out of cycle, they just kind of get thrown on the trash heap of history, and occasionally it'll pop up in the secondary market, and then you'll be like, what's this really, really cool, piece like a Parks Saber, I mean, everybody thinks of them as,
and some of the stuff isn't truly gone. I mean, they rehash and bring things back, I think it was the Desert Warrior was one that was discontinued, and they brought it back or something like that. I mean, if there's a hilt that's popular enough, you're going to see it come back and enhanced in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I have no problem. I enjoy seeing older stuff, and you're much better at hitting the secondhand market. That's something that I'm not as good at. But you just seem to always find these old gems or these very unique gems that have like a special install that you just haven't seen anywhere else, and you get a great price for it, and you're able to share that with the community. I wish I was better at that, but now my goal is I really want to get that new veteran tier from Saberforge. Because I like Saberforge's stock fonts, like the Prodigal Sun and the Ruiner and all. I think that's what the veteran tier is going to be, is have all of their proprietary fonts, smooth swing on there. And I want
that is what it is. They have a demo. They have demos on their website, and I think that's what pretty much sold me on it. Yeah.
The part that sucks is I just don't want to wait three months to get it.
Yeah, that is the thing. I mean, especially when you're sinking that much money into it. This is what keeps me from ordering a Vader's Vault. Other than the money, I mean, I
cannot fathom waiting a year to get a lightsaber.
I don't want to order anything that I can't guarantee that I'm going to be that I might not live
alive
long to see the thing. And then it gets delivered, and whoever's around will be like, "Oh wow, what's this thing?"
I know your was it the Spectre was a brutal wait, because you ordered that thing from Sabermock and it took a long time to come in, and that was like your dream saber.
That was like 5 months, but I mean that was during the height of the pandemic, and I didn't pay for that. The United States government paid for that. I couldn't afford that thing. I have a friend who she was telling me to to get the new Ultimate Works Spectre or whatever they're calling it. If you've seen it, that store is selling it. It looks identical to the Sabermark Spectre, but it's
It
just like,
does. It looked good. Even has blinkies on there too.
yeah, but I only need one, and I already spent a lot of money on that thing, and I mean, I would love to own every single one of Kane and Jarrus's hilts, but everyone seems to be making one now. When I ordered the Spectre, there was only the Spectre, and then what Ultra Sabers puts out their Spectre. So that's how these things go sometimes. I don't know. All of a sudden, it's just like now everyone's producing Canons. This is strange how this works.
Yeah, the wind blows. Like I remember when Leia's lightsaber was like everyone had to do their version of that, and now nobody cares about it anymore. It's like, what's the flavor of the day? What's the catch of the day? And right now it's Kanan.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with the simple fact that the Kanan saber has a Suba on it, so it's kind of like a katana. Having held the Spectre, I can say that it's very much not like a katana. It doesn't handle like one at all.
You were talking about the flight earlier, and as much as I like the Saberforge Eco sabers, I have to say I still stand by saying that I think the best budget lightsaber is the Ultimate Works Flight. It's pretty comparable in size to the Saberforge Eco saber. It's just a little bit longer, maybe by an inch, maybe inch and a half, but the only reason why I stand by it is because it's customizable, whereas these are not. And I think that's the big difference.
Let me ask you a question.
Smooth swing is better too.
Are you able to get a Suba for the flight?
Yes, and actually I almost ordered one yesterday, and I'm going to do that this weekend because I want to get a Suba for this, a black one.
Because I couldn't tell what I was on the Patch Store's website. I was looking at the options, and they had a Suba, but I wasn't getting the impression there was a Suba specifically for the flight. So I was a little bit, because I want to upgrade mine too. I want to get the Suba for my flight, because you're right.
Sure, it does fit.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Suba that they are marketing is for the flight.
I wonder how
the pictures that I saw showed it on the flight, and I want to get one, and I will. I need to order. It's like what, $25, something like that.
30.
Yeah, 30. Yeah, but I'm gonna get one. I just feel like it would really make the saber complete to have the Suba on there, because I don't see myself.
I just wonder how that thing connects. I have no idea how it attaches to the flight.
I don't either. So look at it, I'm like, where does it go? Like, does it just attach to the blade? Like, I don't know. But
yeah,
I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, the thing is like I bought a bunch of little things lately. What?
Turtle Meme just said that LGT has a Kanan.
Yeah, they do.
That's
what I meant by everyone has one, and there's this really nice too. It's not as screen accurate as the. I mean, because the Ultimate Works version has similarities to the Sabermark. It has the similar color scheme, and it comes apart, and it really. I mean, I held up I did a side by side comparison, and they're really, really spot on. I don't know, if the finish is quite as good as it is on the Sabermark version, but
yours comes apart. The Sabermark one, the emitter comes out from the body?
I was on the impression it was supposed to, but I don't really. I don't think it does, because when I took it apart, there was wires. So, and I mean,
it's not supposed to. It's not supposed to. Then
I'm not screwing around with wires, so I don't think it's supposed to. But I think.
But the Ultimate Works one, though, it has the NeoPixel. It has the Poco pins, so it's designed to come apart and then put back together and work.
I just don't want to. I guess like I don't really need my cadence saber to come apart. Like it's not like I'm gonna wear it on a belt or anything like that.
Yeah.
But if there was one thing I do like is the heart system. I like to be able to put in a Profi or a Asteria heart. I think those are the Asteria is a solid soundboard. Of course, my Sabervox has CFX on it, and other than that recent little weird situation with the blade colors and the blade profiles, because of remember I texted you, I messaged you that the little thing with the, I don't know if you actually saw it. You got a blank look.
Let me.
I mean, I'll just basically describe what it was. It essentially, I had subtracted and added some sound fonts to the CFX board on my Spectre, and I ended up with 11 sound fonts, and the first sound font, which of course is Kanan, and then the last two, which were 10 and 11, couldn't remember their blade colors or blade
I
profile.
remember. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Now,
I remember
I
that,
have the
which I
proper
thought was odd.
The configuration inside the I believe it's the font configuration. If you look inside, it has a minus, then an equal sign, then 1. That indicates that's what frees it up to be able to, you can select whether blade color and you'll remember it. But I think it was a binary problem. Just that 1, the 1 0, and the 1 1 for some reason was confusing the board, because it could remember the 2 through the 9. So once I added that 12 sound font, it kind of closed the loop on that issue, and now everything works properly. It was just the weirdest thing. And
because I was gonna say, like, did you check the code number and make sure that, because sometimes
I
when
checked everything.
when set it to -1 or 0, and it remembers, or it has its own default. I could,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
it seems like you figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I had gone through everything, and that's the only thing that it was just a weird thing. And lucky me. It's just like, look at this really expensive saber, and like Kanan Jarrus keeps like defaulting to white, and I keep setting it to blue. It's just like, and then you go to sleep at night and you're like dreaming about it. It's like, stupid saber. I gotta fix this. Up till like 4 a.m. in the morning.
It's tedious work sometimes. When I was working on my Vanquish and my Reaver, trying to get like each profile to be exactly the way I wanted, and you plug the thing in, you take it out, you check it, it's not quite right. You do it again, and sometimes it's I'll be out. It's exhausting. It is so exhausting to try to get it just right. And sometimes it's still not the way you want it, but you're like, it's close enough, and you're just tired of fucking with it, so you just say, screw it. It is what it is. I'm done.
Yeah, I was trying to make sensitivity adjustments to some saber. I don't remember what it was, but it was like one of those like Flector Labs things where you go in and you can adjust like a certain value down. Okay, adjust this volume down. Now adjust that one. And no, it was actually my Graflex.
Okay.
Because it has a crystal, what is there? Crystal Focus, Crystal Shard 2.5, whatever is in there. And Plector Labs is like, you can go into a configuration, make minor little adjustments. I just wanted the thing to be able to swing, and it's not smooth swing, but just be able to have it be fairly responsible with a strong swing. And I was just trying to optimize that, and you just fool around with that for about an hour or two. And the thing is like every single time you want to get the damn micro SD card out, you have to go through a procedure of undoing this and doing this, and then getting in there and pulling the thing out. Fortunately, with this one, it's just like you take off the pommel and it's right there. It just pulls out. But still,
ease of access.
I love that great. I love that Graflex, by the way.
I just can't. As much as like, don't get me wrong. I think the Graflex is a beautiful saber, and it is obviously OG. But the first time I held one, I just said, I can't do it. I don't like this saber. It looks great. It's not a practical saber. It is, to me, it would only be a shelf
It's not. It
because
wasn't
it's
meant
not,
to be a saber. It was meant to be a handle for a camera. It's a prop.
Yeah, it's a prop. Exactly, it's a prop.
But the thing is like the first thing I noticed was the thing has heft. It has the weight of a saber, and you swing it around and you're like, yeah, this thing's a nightmare. But after a while, you learn where to hold it, and you discover that you can do certain things with it. But it's just having, like, 89 sabers. They got their hands on like an actual prop, and then they fashioned like a perfect replica of it, like right down to like every rivet and piece of metal on there. And it's just a marvelous thing to have. It feels like you own a piece of Star Wars history, like the preeminent piece of Star Wars history. Like, you watch, like in this case, it's the Force Awakens version, but like, I see the prop in the movie, and I'm like, look, damn, it's like dead bang accurate. It's a lot of fun, and I didn't spend too much money on it. I wouldn't want to really spend like the amount of money that a lot of people spend on these things.
Yeah.
And I certainly didn't need one with CFX because
some of them are crazy with the metal chassis and the dual crystal chambers, and those things are like almost $2,000.
Yeah, and it's just like, like
The high ground.
if you break it and then your heart's broken.
Yep.
Yep. Whereas this thing, it's just sort of like it's a solid piece, it has an older soundboard. It just basically does basic sound lightsaber stuff. It's really simple, and it's just like for the price I paid for it. Yeah, I mean, it's my birthday present to myself, and I'm happy with it. And I wouldn't mind having another bougier one, but I don't need one.
I mean, yours is pretty bougie already, but yeah, I mean, the only thing you're missing is a crystal chamber and an OLED screen. I mean,
or like in like
or
a
Bluetooth maybe.
NeoPixel, like a more like Profi or something. Whatever. I don't care. Doesn't really matter to me.
So let's talk about this for a second, because this saber, and I have to say, it's
I need you to be careful with that. You dropped that.
Yeah. But it's not completely screen accurate, but it's very close. And the only reason why I say it's not completely screen accurate is because it's larger than the actual prop. But as far as like the ratio of everything and how it looks, it's spot on. And I ordered that Mark II. It finally shipped, and I should be seeing that early next week. I'm really excited about it. But the nice thing is this little bad boy right here will soon be yours, my friend. And
I just have to find the money to give it.
It's a great saber. Not because I installed it, but I'm just saying like the hilt itself.
Especially because you installed it. Hey, look.
But I mean, this, oh man, I cannot, like, the Spectre is your baby, but for me, like, the Count Dooku saber is just so beautiful and perfect. I love this saber. It just looks amazing.
This thing has become like my absolute go-to favorite saber. I don't know why the hell you sold this to me. This thing is the most amazing hilt. And have you heard?
Say, it isn't. That is a sweet saber, but for some reason, like, I never really used that thing. Like, I did the demo for my
so comfortable. I'm so used to it.
Yeah, it is. It's a great saber. But
this is. Have you heard Son of Corellia yet?
I watched your video on it, your demo, and that's a nice. That's a nice.
A little bit of a close up here. Check this out. I love this.
The ignition. Yeah, the ignition and the post off is like so cool. I am
so completely addicted to this sound font. It's so fracking loud. I love the Imperial blaster effects and everything. Anybody out there, go to Kyberphonics, do yourself a solid, buy the sound font. Son of Corellia. It's my jam right now.
So, what is up, Shannon? Shannon is in the house, and he is toasting us with his spears, and I will go ahead and clinky clinky right back to you, buddy. Someone was asking about Saber Core.
You're going to talk now? Okay.
So Commander Dale was saying the basic level sound option on 4 Sabers UK lightsabers is Saber Core. Is that still an okay option? I will say, I know Scott has a lot of experience with Saber Core. I have some too. And I'll say this, Saber Core is not a bad soundboard. I think it takes care of what it needs to. But when you look at other options that are available now, you could do a lot better. And I felt that for the time, Sabercore was charging a bit much for what it can do, but it's not a bad board. I mean, I'm okay with Sabercore, but knowing all the options that are out there now, I'd rather have something else. But sure, Sabercore is okay.
Especially when you send it in for repairs and they send you back Golden Harvest V4.
Dude, that was great how you got set up with that, man.
Saberforge,
and you
Saberforge took care of this guy. They really did.
Yeah. Let's just do a toast for Saberforge, because Saberforge was like pissing off a lot of people, and they have stepped it up. So cheers to you, Saberforge.
Cheers. They still have their haters and their detractors, and they always will. Everybody does, but I don't know. I just I've never had any problems with them. I've been
me either. Yeah. I mean, if you can stand the weight, Saberforge is great. But if you think about it, though, now, I mean, Saber Trio, Genesis Custom Sabers, Vader's Fault. I mean, the lead time for Saberforge really isn't all that bad in comparison to the other custom, Saber companies. So,
I mean, the thing is like when you're ordering from all these companies, what you get is entirely worth the wait. We're just, living in a culture that's used to instant gratification. Amazon.
I want it now. When I click, I should get instant.
Take into consideration Saber Trio. When you consider the fact that they start manufacturing that. I don't know what kind of preparation they have for, their hilts, if they have like parts already pre-made or if any of the hilts are pre-made. But the way I understand it, and it's the same thing with Saber Forge, is they start manufacturing things with the materials they have as soon as they get ordered. So you get the thing that's like completely handmade, and it's like a car, if it's gonna run right, they really need to take their time and assemble it with care, and like I said, just to take their time, or at least schedule things out so they're just focusing on the one thing for like a few days, which is usually it's just scheduling. I think that takes up a lot of time. But I would rather a guy, if he's going to be putting everything together, not be harried. Like as a person, my job is basically to perform miracles. I'll get someone that will place an order, and CSR will come to my department and say, I've had this order sitting on my desk for 6 days. They need it tomorrow. And then you look at them and you go, wow, that job should take about 6 days to produce, but they need it tomorrow. Wonderful. Why didn't you get that to us? So we're scrambling to get things done. And at a certain point, you have to start like cutting corners just to produce and get things out the door, because you're not given a choice. Mm-hmm. You do your very best, but when you're hurrying, mistakes happen. And I would just as soon have my saber that you're spending, I mean, the amount of money that you're spending on those things, I'd like to see them take their time and produce it under the conditions that they feel like they can produce it. You know, like if you look at Vader's Vault, I know that they probably don't have too many people working there. You know, it's probably just like,
No, it's a mom and pop organization.
yeah,
for
you know,
sure.
and maybe a couple of helpers here and there and family. You know, if it takes them a year to produce like Ike keeps, you know, going on about the Vanquish, I think it's what it's called. You've seen what's entailed in that hill, in that, I mean, all the layers of, it's a Stradivarius.
Mhm.
You know, how much time does it take to produce perfection? Well, with Vader's
Well,
Vault.
I mean, when you get into basically what you're talking about earlier was like quality control, and I know that's something that Saber Trio really puts a valiant effort into, is making sure that they're not going to send out a saber until they've had time to test it and make sure that it works. I didn't always feel that confidence from Saberforge. I feel like they just, when they're done with it, they just throw it in the box and send it to you rather than testing it and making sure that it's good to go. I feel like that may have changed because, I mean, I actually heard quality control from them before. But one thing I can say is the LGT reseller thing has kind of ruined people's expectations of what the time frame should be for getting a saber. But if you look at it, when you order from Saberforge, from, I'll even say Ultra Sabers and Saber Trio, Vader's Vault, Genesis Custom Sabers, and so on, when you get that saber, you can pretty much guarantee that it's going to work. Whereas I can't tell you how many times, how many LGT cores I've gotten that have busted or stopped working like the day I got it or shortly after that and had to send it in for repair. And that's because when you have these assembly line electronics, there is no quality control there. They just zip, 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 solder, package, and then send it out. And you don't know if it's going to work or not. And that's really sad because, you know, they just want to get you the saber quickly. And people are used to this. Oh, if I just order the saber now, it's going to ship in a week and I'm going to have it. Sure, that's great. But at the same time, you may have it, but is it going to work? And I can tell you, having installed sabers myself, the day you install it and solder it up, sure, it'll work, but you play with it for a couple of days and there might be something that tweaks in it and it doesn't work anymore. And you have to go back to it, address it. And I think that's the big thing. The quality control process is making sure that once it's installed, it fires up, great. Test it, swing it, drop it, do some things with it, and make sure that it's going to be good to go, because you don't want to send out a product that's going to have to come right back to you for repair. And of course, LGT is so huge, they don't repair it, they just replace it. You know,
Well,
and you never know.
LGT,
You might have the same problem with the replacement.
LGT is also like, it has a niche market. They also have, you know, a marketing strategy. I mean, everything's been condensed to a core.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the thing is my main concern with the core is always the components. And, you know, occasionally what I find is they'll have, there'll be like one component in there that could be flawed. That was the problem in the past, especially with the Saberforge Ecos and the first and second generation of LGTs. It's like,
and the wiring was shoddy at best sometimes.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times, like, advancements in the technology, you know, having to cope with the vagaries of you know, trying to produce things quickly and efficiently and mass market, you know, production. I think that you get like kind of tied up with like situations where, like, you know, things just may inherently not work. And we've seen it with LGT, where there's been a lot of issues that have come and gone, but they're dealing with them. And I kind of feel like, you know, Saberforge has also been dealing with them. It may be like a slow grind or a quick grind, but then, you know, you've got companies like Ultra Sabers, which just kind of like stand pat on their technology, and like, you know, and you'll get a saber from them, and after 2 weeks, a board will burn out, and then before sending it to Adam at Blue Force Sabers to make it into something good, you know. I mean, so that's just, and when you consider the fact that you're spending the same amount of money on that you are to get a Saberforge hilt that would now have Golden Harvest V4, it's just like, wow, my discussion kind of like it took a bit of a turn there. I didn't want to get into like that territory, but it just makes you think.
So some of the guys are talking about Dark Wolf Sabers and Johnny. So, yes, Red Fox commented that he likes ordering the cores from Dark Wolf because he checks and tests those cores, and that is true. And Johnny also helps LGT develop, those cores and things too. So that's a huge plus. But I have to disagree a little bit with, Ike. Yeah. So he's, I feel like Dark Wolf is a little more pricey compared to like Crimson Dawn. I think of all the resellers, Crimson Dawn's my favorite because I think they have the best customer service and they do the best pricing. Now, I've ordered some parts from Dark Wolf that have come to me and have not worked. And actually, in fact, I did it with my CFX installation series. I ordered some switches from Dark Wolf Sabers and they busted. They didn't work. I had to replace them myself and do my own repairs. So the cores, yes, I think they're tested and they work. When I got cores from Dark Wolf, they worked and they were good. But as far as like other parts and things that he's tried to develop, I don't really necessarily stand by the quality on that because I've had issues. I've ordered several parts from Dark Wolf that have not worked and I've had to replace them or fix them myself. Yeah, Dark Wolf's okay, but they're definitely not my go-to because I think they charge too much and I've had issues with some of the parts.
Just to sort of add to this a little bit, and I don't want to be dumping off on Johnny from Dark Wolf. I mean, I have nothing against the guy. I have some sabers that I bought.
We can thank him for the better cores that we're getting today.
I
he's had a hand in that.
I have the Dark Wolf Profi I love it. I also I have some things from him that I bought that are exquisite. That being said, I've purchased 3 of his Eco NeoPixel blades, and they're all dead. The NeoPixel strips just aren't secured enough in the blade, and they move around in the soldering to the connector. They just let go after a very, very short period of time. And we're just talking about not even dueling. I'm just talking swinging them around. So I have 3 $80 blades that are dead. And I've gotten to the point where I can't recommend those blades. And I would definitely I highly recommend Sith Lord Sabers. I have 2 of his blades. I have one in my I can't reach it, but I have one in my my Vector. The guy just does an amazing job with his blades. There's nary a blemish. I mean, for $110 for a $32 32-inch NeoPixel blade that has no blemishes, is bright. It's like sanded and it's just handmade blade. You want to go for like the ultimate quality, and it's only $30 more, and it's a blade that's going to last pretty much. As long as I take care of it, it should last. I mean, buying a NeoPixel blade, having it last like 3 months, and then just crapping out. That's just not right. And again, like his blades may be improved. They may have, people may have way better luck with them. I don't mean that. This is just my experience. So I'm not, I'm not.
Well, the reality is when you're spending that kind of money, you expect it to work and to last. And doing enough with this lightsaber stuff, I can tell you, like, these things, they're very fragile. Electronics are very fragile. And when you solder up a little bit of wire and you bang it around, like, sure, you can have a heavy grade blade all day, but the point is there's vibration in the hilt when you make contact, and that can loosen and break up solder and joints and connections and things like that. And it can also short out. components. So you spend all this money, but these are more fragile than they're advertised.
You know, the funniest thing is, like, you'd think because the the blades that came from Dark Wolf are made in China, that they'd be like, it's the fact that they're Chinese made blades. I have an Ultimate Works blade, which came with I can't remember what hilt it came. I think it came with my Master Cube. And they don't give you the option of picking the length of the blade, so they just sent me a 36-inch. So I sent it to installer that I've used for throwing sound fonts on Profi sabers. I can't remember his name right now, but he made it into a 32-inch blade, and it's the ultimate beater blade. That thing just won't die. I mean, it's got cracks in it. I've glued it together. The end came off. I stuck it into it. That thing just keeps going and going and going. And
Energizer saber.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for you to entrust me with one of your sabers to install. I'm waiting for you to send me your Vanquish so I can upgrade that sucker for you.
No, I actually have some ideas of what I can't remember any of them right now, but I definitely have some ideas of what route I'm going to do. I just right now I cannot afford a $500 in. Hello.
Yeah, there we go. We got you froze. I don't know if it was me or you, but now I just heard your hello, but everything else stopped before that.
Unless all of a sudden out of nowhere when we stop communicating, that this is something that's gonna happen someday. And but I mean, you can't even get your own crap done. What are you talking about? Installing my saber? Get out of here! Get out of here with that.
But there's a difference, though. When I know it's for me,
yeah,
I don't care. It's whatever, I'll get to it when I get to it. But if it's for someone else, and I know I have to, I'm being entrusted with something, then I'm gonna get it done. Like my lady's saber. When I knew I had to work on hers, I got hers done. But I'm still pussyfooting with some of mine. But yeah, I mean, if I got something and someone said, "Hey, take care of this for me," you better believe I'm going to take care of it, because Great Paladin is it's not just a channel; it's a name, it's a reputation on the line. And you have to make sure it stays positive. Yeah, I want to stay in good standing.
So Isaac asks, who do we think makes the best blade? I think we kind of covered that already, but for his benefit, I'm assuming he means NeoPixel. That's what I'm assuming. But he could be, talking about just regular polycarbonate.
Okay, there it goes. Oh, he has a saber for me to reinstall. Okay, we'll talk.
Now we'll talk here. No secrets.
Yeah,
come on, man. Isaac. Come on,
man. So who makes the best blade?
I agree with Red Fox. I believe, currently my favorite blade maker is Sith Lord Sabers. I love his. Let me get this stupid thing. It's I've got a Sith Lord Sabers blade on my Vector.
Ike said yes, NeoPixel.
Yes, NeoPixel. Well, there you go. That's my answer. But Ray has an answer for you that differs from mine. As far as mass produced, I would have to say mass produced blades. Well, I wouldn't say they're necessarily mass produced, but the blade on my Saber Trio blade on my Senza, this blade is exquisite for a 36-inch blade. it's so light and nimble, and you can't hear like you don't like everything's secured inside the tube, and it's sanded, and I just this blade it's just a work of art. And hold on, insanely bright, no blemishes, and it's illuminated all the way to the tip. If only Saber Trio actually sold the blades right now separately from the hilts. But I'm if you get any hilt from Saber Trio now, don't even worry about the shipping. Just get the blade, suck it up on the shipping. The blade that you get from them, whether it's polycarbonate or neopixel, is going to be the best there is.
I agree with Scott 100%.
I'm in love with that.
I think Saber Trio's blades are exquisite, and if I could only choose one, it would be them. When people ask me who has the best blade, I'm always going to say Saber Trio. I think they have the best blades. The NeoPixel blades are great. The regular polycarbonate in-hilt blades are great. They sand it. They diffuse it. They're durable. They have a bullet tip, which I prefer over a round tip, and it's a trans white. So I think Saber Trio has the best blades.
I do want to address Turlheim's mentioning Bendu Armory. I would have to say I have a couple Bendu Armory blades, and I think you could shoot a Bendu Armory blade with a shotgun because I have a heavy grade dueling blade, and that thing would probably just like go meh, bullets, nothing. It's such a durable blade, but my only problem with that is it weighs a ton. And being a non-dueler, I like something a little bit more spry, which is why I always go for the lighter grade blades like this, so you can actually kind of move it around like one-handed without having to take a nap after 10 minutes of. But I mean, Bendu Armory blades, they do have the reputation, and they have the different levels. What's the KR? Which I guess is the preeminent version for brightness and the most pixels per square whatchamaboyer, whatever. I mean, I don't. I'm not an expert on that stuff. I just me like blade, me put blade in saber, blade lights let me happy.
So turtle meme, Saberforge has, as far as durability goes, I think Saberforge is in the top as far as durability. The only problem that I have with Saberforge blades is because they are so thick and they're kind of that frosted silver, they really lack in brightness. I mean, you are going to see a significant loss in brightness with a Saberforge blade. However, they are amazing for dueling. And then to jump in with what Forged by Light said, yes, those heavy grade NeoPixel blades are, I don't have a fear of whacking and beating the crap out of a NeoPixel blade from Darkwolf like that heavy grade blade. It works. And I know for a fact that Forged by Light and Code Echo, those guys, they're swinging and they're going full on contact. And I'll just say he broke his hilt before the blade. That Vectra, that shit busted, but the blade was great. So
and Saber Trio replaced that stuff free.
Yeah. TGIF, Ravens. TGIF, my friend.
Hey, let's give a toast to Mr. Ravens, the best Sith Lord out there. Clink. Saber friends. Yeah, Shannon Vector got wrecked.
It did get wrecked. Yeah. I like that reaction. No!
That was a funny ass video.
Yeah. Hey, Shannon, your Darth Maul video, that was cool, man. That was really cool. I could not press the like button hard enough on that video.
I had to give him a warning though. It's just like, dude, you don't need to be looking for Obi. Dude, I like you, man. You're my friend. I need you to back off. I need you to back off because I think Obi-Wan. I think you'd be his lunch.
Thanks for joining us, Commander Dale. Have a good one.
Bye.
Scott, has your Defender powered off? Because mine.
No,
is...
I had to manually power it off.
Okay, because mine's still on too.
It's gonna be on forever. I don't think they.
That's a change because usually after a few minutes you get power off. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, even with the LGT board, I think after a while it goes. The girl
turns
chimes
off
in,
by itself.
You know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Power. Yeah, it's not off.
I'm not exactly
power.
sure. I don't remember. I think it just kind of like fades out. Yeah, no, this thing just stayed on forever. I'm surprised how charged these were when we got them.
Yeah,
Like
we've been swinging these and playing with them for a while, and mine hasn't powered off, and it still works. It made it across the pond, and it still has juice. That's great.
I would have to say, so far, I'm gonna rate my saber out of 10. Or are you being beckoned?
A little bit, yeah. So you're gonna rate your saber out of 10?
I would have to give this one. I don't know. I never give things like a full 10, but I give it a 9 out of 10. If it was free, I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
Well, yeah. If anything's free, for sure.
Really pleased with this thing.
Honestly, I think a 9 is fair. The only reason why I'm going to say 8. And the only reason why is because
it's not weathered.
It's a very simple hilt. But I think for what you get, absolutely, I would give this an 8. I think the core is.
He doesn't like simple stuff.
I do. Well, no, I do. Don't get me wrong. But like this would be an 8, and I would give like an elite saber a 9 or a 9.5 or something like that. But I feel like this saber checks all the boxes for the price, for the bracket that it falls into.
Okay, if that's the way you want to be.
Okay, it gets an 8 because it's not weathered. How about that? But no, this is I'm pleased with this. I'm happy with this for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's definitely well spent money, I think.
You know what? I need to check to make sure the diameter on this, because when like the Defiant, the Fallen, and the Commando could all take ASP parts. But this is an older Eco Saber design, so I don't know if it actually takes elite stuff. So I'm going to check real quick and see. I'll use my Vanquish here. Nope.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, no. So that's interesting that when they design new Eco Sabers that they increase the diameter, but the old ones, they just kept them as it was. They still made improvements on like the switch and stuff, but they kept the diameter itself the same.
The one thing that they haven't addressed with the Ecos, I would say, is I don't think they sell a coupler that's compatible with this, do they?
No, they don't. And I wish they did. Imagine.
Could you imagine if this thing was the dual save?
Cool.
This would
be
nice.
Honestly, that would be a smart move because they can make more money that way.
This is kind of Darth Maul-esque in a very loose kind of way.
Perhaps.
No. All right.
No.
Fine. What All right, where's the click? How do we get rid of this guy?
Oh.
JK. JK, don't worry. Everybody doesn't like Boba or Django. They just simple. Dude.
I do like simple, and I have often said that in some of my reviews, simple but elegant. So I do appreciate simple. However,
I like simpletons. I like simpletons, which is why, like, some of my friends that I hang out with occasionally,
the cutouts on the grip were pretty sharp. Down better.
You don't have to on this one.
Yeah, you don't have to on this one.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, it's okay.
I would end up in the hospital with the old version. This is perfectly. It's almost like they went in there and dremeled that shit. Even on the unweathered version, like it's nice and smooth, right?
Yeah.
Really, I mean, it's just amazing that they dealt with it. I mean, they probably had enough complaints and lawsuits. Some kid was probably like came in with 15 scars on his hands and say, "Mommy, the saber got me. I got caught."
But the Commando, though, that was brutal because you had one. You got one too.
I have one.
Commando. I had the Dremel that. It was just too sharp. It was too sharp.
I've weathered and drumbled the shit out of that thing. It's not even recognizable, but it's definitely mine now.
Yeah.
I'll never
put that in
that
the box. I said, "There's just no way I can't do it." I'm going to power this down.
Yeah, I don't understand why is it that the Commando is just like a trip to the hospital, but then this thing is like. Why did they figure it out with this thing? This thing has no issues whatsoever. It's just like the perfect grip. But the Commando,
every edge is well done.
It's like, I will make the sacrifice of the blood to bring the hellmouth and open the hellmouth, and
the Commando sends you to the hospital.
Did you happen to save the weapon that caused the injury? It'd be nice to see that. How did he die? Oh, wait, we found this lightsaber. It just looks like the person just bashed him over the head and just like basically cut him so many times. It's just like blood spatter expert like went nuts, and it's just like I don't even know how they made this wound. It's amazing.
So I have to address Turtle Meme's comment here because I agree 100%. They should offer empty eco hilts.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
But then again, every company should just offer empty all their stuff.
Yes.
Like I mean, even Ultra Sabers offers empty stuff. Like Saberforge has mastered that, but like you can't. I mean, if Electrum Sabercraft offered empty hilts, boom. So many people would be buying that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people.
I would get more because I don't like the D3. I don't order any of those because I don't want that soundboard. I think it's no. I have a remnant and I still haven't done a review just because I just can't. I don't like the D3. I don't.
Okay, I'll take it. Give it. Yeah. Give to me, my friend.
If you want it, you can have it.
I love the remnant. I don't want to give you money. I just want it. Always with you with money. What are you, a Toydarian or some shit? Come on, man.
Only money.
What does he say? It's like,
what do you think you're a Jedi with a head like that?
Only money.
That's right.
I love that. Gotta admit, he's one of the cooler characters from that movie.
Yeah, I like Watto. Watto's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the remnant itself, that the remnant hilt itself is very nice. I mean, man, that hilt. It's if I had to pick one weapon to go in with, like that is so comfortable.
Remnant is dry.
It's very
You can
practical.
do all kinds of shit with that thing, and like I
That's
love
another
that
case
grenade
where it's simple, but I like it very much.
scalloped grenade section.
Yeah.
Now I have a D2 soundboard on mine, which is pretty much as simple as it gets. The D2 soundboard
Out of here.
is far and away is a completely different animal than D3. It's just basically, I don't know. I mean, I probably did a video comparing the two at one point, but
And the hilts are light too. They're not very heavy. Me personally, I prefer heavier hilts just because it feels more realistic. But this being lighter, I do like it.
I'm looking at that, and that's so pretty. Mine is battle damaged. It's like half melted. It's got like shit gouged out of it and stuff like that. I love. I
actually got this secondhand. This is one of the few secondhand sabers that I own.
I bought mine secondhand, and
it has a lot of scratches. You probably can't see it because it's silver, but it has some scratches here. I think the previous owner had wore a ring and it just scratched it when they were spinning it. But I don't care. I like the hilt a lot.
Did you ever bother upgrading that the soundboard? You give it the firmware?
Not yet. I downloaded it on my computer. I just haven't done anything with it yet.
All right. Well, the thing is the app still has its. It's replaced a lot of the older issues with a bunch of newer issues. Like it has its personality quirks. I'm not even sure. I keep getting these like Instagram updates from Electrum Sabercraft saying that they have another firmware update coming out, or I don't know what's going on with that company. But look, I upgraded my Scion and my EvoFlex. The Scion with the new update and interacting with the new Unity app. The Scion works perfectly. The EvoFlex is kind of a train wreck. So I just kind of.
And I like the EvoFlex. That is a great twist on.
For some reason, that soundboard, I just keep the Angry Annie sound font on it, and I just keep the settings locked, and it's fine. The problem with the I don't understand. It's just these little things, like the Scion. I'm currently using the Traveler, the Terran Malicos sound font. I love that sound font.
I like that too.
I have a profile set for that part. I have it's a blade profile, which is of course red with a flicker, and I have everything dialed in with the clash, and for some reason everything's all set in a profile, but whenever I turn that thing on, the flicker won't work, and I have to go in and I have to access the blade profile, and it says specifically in there flicker is selected. That's all dialed in. I know how to set up a flicker and everything. It's pretty easy. But getting the saber to work consistently with the profiles, it's still kind of a bear. My Aaron, my Aurora, my Electrum Sabercraft's Aurora still is using the old firmware update. I have everything dialed in, and I don't even touch it because everything works. And I know that as soon as I firmware update it, I've got to go through all this drama, and I just don't have the time or the energy of the patience. I love that saber the way it's performing now with the one sound file. I don't change anything. I just keep it on the one thing, and that's the main flaw with the D3. It's just it's just so much work to get everything dialed in. And then once you get it dialed in, you have to fix it and fix it and fix it and fix it. The upgrade. You don't have to deal with any of this shit with any of the other soundboards. I mean, even the Obsidian from Ultra Sabers doesn't give you this much grief.
And you're right. It's a lot of work to dial it in, and it's still not worth the effort to get if I want to do that kind of work, it should be like a Profi or something, But the D3, it just doesn't cut it. And their idea of taking like any font and then like making it smooth swing, it still doesn't sound right to me. Even when you tweak it,
I just think that
it's much work with very little payoff.
They needed to go the route that stunt sabers went. If they
Yes.
wanted that kind of interaction, they needed to just, instead of giving you the world, just go with something specific that works.
Yeah.
Don't try to make promises. Like, you can use any sound font that anybody produced and it'll smooth swing and blah, blah, blah. And you can adjust everything and tweak like one decibel here and none of that works. Like, the stunt sabers system is just refined.
I still need to do a review on that and do a separate video on like the.
I've been waiting
app.
for yours.
I need to do that. Maybe I should
I
post that out this
mine
weekend.
because I don't know.
Because it is a nice saber, and I think the soundboard is pretty cool. I feel like it's D3 done better. Blues Brothers. We ended up unboxing Saberforge Eco Sabers, the Defender. I have the standard finish, and Darth Paradigm got the weathered.
The better of the two.
If that's your flavor. Yes.
Every way, shape, and form.
You sound like a conehead. Chewing gum.
I am from France. You will know from the Garthog.
You're a conehead now. That's hilarious.
Hey, you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? No.
I would very much love to do that, but Lady Paladin's trying to sleep, so.
I know. And we have, how much time do we have? We got about 8 minutes left.
Yep.
I mean, if we went till about 10, I think you and I would be both so drunk.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting there. Like I'm on beer number 3 right now.
I am too. Yeah, I've been keeping pace. You were picking on me last time.
I was.
You were a jerk. You were a jerk. Yeah.
What do you think? You're something drunkard waving your beer around like that?
Oh, wait a minute. It was just like Republic credits will be fine, or will
be fine.
Yeah.
No, they won't.
No, they won't. Yes, they will. No, they won't. You're waving your hands around like
you think you're some kind of Jedi waving your hand around like that?
I am a Targaryen. Only money.
Only money.
From now on, I think you and I should just do a live stream like once every month or 2 months or something. Just get hammered.
Yeah, sure. Hey, I am all about it.
Yeah, I mean, you went to freaking Oktoberfest. I hear you won Das Boot. You won Das Boot. I remember when I had my first beer.
I had a blast. I had my lederhosen on. I had my Bavarian hat.
Shit.
Man.
I showed all my friends that video you showed me. I'm like, this is my friend. I'm at work slinging copies, and this dude is off there in his lederhosen.
I had a blast. And since Lady Paladin's German, I know German. I can speak it, a little bit. So I had so much fun.
What is this? I'm a toy area. Mind chicks don't work on me. Only death sticks.
Only death sticks.
Would you like to buy some death sticks? You don't want any. I don't want. Wait. It's like too drunk to do lines.
Yeah. You need to go home and rethink your life. Okay.
Yeah. I need to go home and rethink my life. Yeah, maybe we should put a nipple on it.
You know, I am so happy with this saber. I really am.
Yeah, I am too. And this saber's
know-
gonna have like it's gonna be like, this is the saber that I bought and I unboxed it with my friend Gray Paladin. It was right before the world ended. And this is the only thing I have left. Everything else is gone.
But you know what I really like about this is like I'm pleased with the electronics. Like the Eco core actually works and is pretty good on this.
Yeah.
So I don't need to put a profi in this because the basic core works just great.
I mean, plus it's unique. It's not like you're gonna have like a ton of. It's not like we're gonna buy a ton of these. I kind of want to get the Praetorian, but other than that,
that's nice too.
I want to see what they come out with. I'm gonna wait till the next generation, see if they come out with something even more interesting. By then, they'll be $200 a piece, and then like you and I will be in our senior years, and it'll be like, oh, I want to see what the Eco 20 looks like. I hear they actually use an actual laser blade. They use a freaking laser blade on the
Attached to their heads. Ford Lincoln Mercury Sable. Man, I remember the Mercury Sable.
My grandmother had one of those. I've
With
driven
the light bar across the front. Yeah.
the ceiling, the whatever the fabric on the ceiling, the glue lets go and it hangs down and just rests on your head.
Yeah.
And then you ask, hey, Dad, is there any way to fix this? And he goes in there with a knife and just like hacks it away. Get out of here! Get out of here! And then
You know what's funny is the younger people will never like remember or understand that, like having the ceiling fabric coming down.
driving to school or work or whatever and having to lean off to the side like that with a piece of fabric on your head. You learn coping skills. I mean, people they don't understand. They don't understand and you're sitting on a bench seat that goes all the way across the straight. Then your stereo's in sideways. You installed your Roadmaster stereo in that has like a cassette, and the cassette goes in, but you have to like push it in the rest of the way. And maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, and then you get pulled over for like rolling through a stop sign. And it's like, I'm not drunk, Ossifer. I was just working 10 hours.
Ossifer.
Yeah.
Oh, those were the days.
Ford Lincoln
Oh
Mercury Sable. Yep.
My first car was a 1985 Chevy Monte Carlo LS with a turtle top.
Dude.
I loved that car.
My first car was a Chevy Citation. It's Chevy, man.
The
Chevy
Citation.
Citation. Yeah.
That was a boat. That was a big car.
Mine actually. I had a rare Chevy Citation with a trunk. It actually had a trunk.
Oh wait, Citation. Wasn't that like the little hatchback thing?
It was like the one that looked like a turtle, but I had the one that actually had a trunk, so it looked less turtley. And it kind of had the little panels on the side. And the only reason why I had to sell that car was because the tie rod was about that round, like right there. Well, that was suggestive, but anyway, it was about that round, and it dry rotted in the middle. And one day I was driving to the mall with my friend, and my car started. It was going to one direction, and I was like, "Hey, man, can you help me grab the steering wheel? We need to get right. We need to get right." And yeah, that was the end of that car. Everything. There was no power, anything on it. It was like. Steering was like,
yeah. I got lucky on my first car. It was my grandmother's car, and it had power everything: power steering, power locks, power windows, 4.3 liter fuel injection. I mean,
la-dee-da.
Yeah.
Mine,
I was a cool guy. 16 years old driving to school in a Chevy Monte Carlo. Oh yeah, loved it.
Mine was mine was my college car. That one was paid with cash. But my favorite car was definitely I had a Celica ST, and I love that car. I'm a 2-door coupe kind of guy.
Mm.
Yeah.
I preferred sedans, but yeah, I had a couple of coupes.
Or coupe, as the British will say. You have a coupe.
Coupe.
Yeah. Oh, what do you have for under the bonnet? What do you drive for a lorry?
Oh, sorry, what?
It's 9 o'clock. You want to wrap it up, buddy?
Oh, yeah, it is 3 a.m. here. Sure, because you know
3 a.m. there, huh?
Let's go till this beer is gone.
I don't have much left.
Neither do I.
I mean, you could go. Man, that is a brown ale.
It's a red, actually.
Red.
Yeah. Red ale.
Is that still the pumpkin?
No, that was like towards the beginning. So I started with this, the pumpkin,
Right.
and then I went to this. It was a blonde, and then this is the same brand, but in a red. Yeah, and
Nice.
it's like
I
the
like the
European,
bottles.
where you can reseal it. I love these things. These bottles are awesome. They're all over Germany. You don't see them too much in
around
Belgium.
the old country, do they?
Nah,
They know how to beer.
that's right.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. You know what I mean?
Here they say beer.
Yeah. America, we call beer. Man, give me a Budweiser. I just want myself Budweiser.
Give me some burr. Give me some burr. Bear. Brewski. Brew.
Bruskovich.
Turtle Beam, where are you if it's 2 a.m.? Where are you?
Hot Wheels. What? Of course. Guy's coming up with the zingers tonight.
Scratch and Dent came in stock. In the past, when HexX first had his channel before he closed it down and came back, he ordered some Scratch and Dents, and he had some issues with it. And I remember watching some other people's videos about the Saberforge Scratch and Dent, and I thought, okay, that's not worth the money. But then I saw Theme Park DNA. He had a really good Scratch and Dent haul. And I thought, okay, maybe they're doing better now. And I thought, should I pop the bucks and get a Scratch and Dent? But then again, I told myself, stop getting extra parts until you finish what you already have. So I told myself, don't. But, Scotland, that's cool. I'm in Belgium.
Blue Mama's in the house. Yeah, I mean, like, you show up.
Blue
We're
Mamba,
about-
yo.
We're about,
What's up,
yeah.
man?
Non-committal.
I've been hearing a lot of Blue Mamba and seeing him in some live streams.
Hey,
But I haven't interacted with him or anything like that. So welcome. Good to see you.
You probably don't know this. This is insider information. I just happen to know. He's got a Vader.
An MPP, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not.
I would take a Vader over a Graflex for sure. Only because it's Vader. You know what I mean? It's Vader.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He likes Vader just a little bit. Carter has a Vader. Yes. Here we go. There we go.
Carter has a Vader.
Yeah.
Aren't you? You're trying to secure a Vader too, aren't you?
Me?
Yeah.
I have one. It's just it doesn't work, and I need to have it. You see, that's what I should do. I should actually test the waters and test your skills and send you my Vader and see if you can fix that shit. If you can pass this test, and you'll do it for free, because you know that you'll get me as a loyal customer
For free?
forever and ever. Yep. Dude, seriously, I'm paying.
If you because it's
Only
you.
money.
If you supply the parts, then I will do the work for free.
How about I tell you what to order? You order them, you put them in, you fix it, and then we call it even. And I let you live.
I almost spit out my beer, but it was too good. Call it even. You must be crazy.
No, we can figure something out. Anyway, so yeah, I've got. Here,
I have to reply to Joseph Ruiz here. So
I've got this thing.
it sounds like yours is shipping next week, but I am happy to inform you that mine shipped 2 days ago.
All right.
All right.
All right. See, you checking this thing out? It's really nice. It's really bougie.
That looks good.
It has like some kind of crystal shard, crystal focus shit in it.
Does it work or
no? Because the thing is the switch section. You know those little tiny. They kind of jury rig like this to be the switch section. I mean, it should. The switch section is supposed to be up here. In here, like this thing. That's supposed to be.
I thought it was supposed to be the bubble clamp on the switch box. No.
Yeah, but that's what they did. But it sucks because they didn't, because this isn't like a graphics where this is all screwed into place. It actually moved. It moved on me as I was trying to swing it around, just playing around with it, and it moved on me and it severed the freaking wires because they were so thin. And I tried to like rewire it, but it was just like it's such a nightmare in here. This is like this thing. What I was gonna send this to Babu Sabers, but I just didn't have the money. But I mean, this is such a nice hilt. I don't feel compelled to buy anything else. I want to either repair this or do an install. I mean, this thing is like.
Do you know what it is? Did you say 7 chambers? Is that?
No, this is an MPP. It's probably it's a Parks. This is a Parks MPP 2.5. I think that's what I was told by Babu Sabers because I sent him pictures of it. I just I ran out of cash and I didn't I may still do it. I may still send it to him at some point. I still have to buy the frickin' I have to buy that. I have the hilt that Revan Sabers is working on, and then I'm buying your Dooku. But other than that, I don't have anything else in plan. But one of these days, I have to do something with this. This is just too nice.
That looks really good, actually. Yeah, I like that one. That's nice.
It's very, very beautiful. I mean, I would just load it up with Vader fonts. It seems completely wrong to even attempt to load anything else other than Vader fonts straight up onto a hilt like that.
Correct. That same thing with the Dooku. I was like, I'm not putting anything other than Dooku's fonts on that thing.
No, I wouldn't expect it. I mean, like, what would you do? Like, I'm going to use Vader font on Dooku's saber. It's so stupid.
It just doesn't work. And I have it permanently set to red. Like, why would I put any other color on that? It just doesn't look right. I've seen people. I've seen videos with people who had Dooku sabers, and they have like yellow, green. It just doesn't look right.
Oh my god, that's just so wrong. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh my god,
why would you even do that? Oh my god.
Saberforge doing great with the restocks. Yes, I agree, Turtle. Ruiz, he says, like, you got 2-day shipping and you're in California. Okay. See who's a better political idealist. Yes, because I am a political idealist, not a murderer.
Saberforge is really doing great with the restocks. I mean, you get the notifications on Friday, and it's just like we have all this the stuff, and a lot of their. If you go to their site, there's just literally like dozens upon dozens of hilts to choose from now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's certain things that they don't have, like they don't have the Unleashed. They don't have like they
Vanquish.
just restock the
The
Dissident.
Vanquish is a hard saber to get now.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna put I think I'm gonna put one of those bass speakers in my Vanquish this weekend. I have the kind of like just a normal like thin speaker in there, but I know it can handle the thicker bass speaker. And I can put the thin one in. I have a Talon. The Talon is like one of the sabers that the speaker is blown out, but I can't fit that stupid bass speaker in there. I can only put like a thin one because it's like a Saberforge with like a chassis, and the chassis fills up every available space. So once you scrape out the end where the speaker is and like make all the space available, and it has the thin speaker. Once you add the bass speaker, which is like a lot thicker, and you try to put it in the pommel, it just won't work because you can't get enough resonance. So it goes
And that sucks because bass speakers sound so much like if it's not a bass speaker, it just does not sound the same.
And this is one of the mid-range bass speakers, one of the ones that kind of like it's sort of balanced. It gives you the bass, but also gives you the high end too. And so like I don't know, you have to have a resonance chamber to make that work, and it just wasn't working. And
talking about speakers, okay, so there's the WoW speaker that you can get through the Custom Saber Shop, which I think is a really great speaker. However, it doesn't last very long. A lot of people talk about Smuggler's Outpost having great speakers that last, but I will say I've done Smuggler's Outpost speakers, and they do sound great, but they don't last long like they say they do. And I don't put my speakers at 100%. I usually put them at 80 or 75. Now, a speaker that I think is really great is the Saber Essentials. You can get that at the Custom Saber Shop. It's the most expensive speaker. I think it's like $14.99, but man, is that sucker loud. The loudest speaker I have ever heard. It is so clear. It's so nice. And you can max it out if you want. I don't, but you can max it if you want, and it will hold true. And I put that in my Vanquish because because you have a Vanquish. And you know that with these curved hilts, the speaker is like way up here.
yeah,
Well, you've got this very non-vented pommel way down here. So you can have it at 100 and it's not going to be very loud. But with this Saber Essential speaker, it's up here. I have it at like 60, and that sucker is it's the loudest speaker I have in my entire collection, and I love it. So I'm going to try to order some more of those. But that's a great speaker for sure. But those little flat ones that you get, they sound terrible. There's no bass whatsoever. Whatever Saber Trio uses, they have really good speakers too.
I think it was I think it was Sam at Absolute Sabers was saying that something like Saber Trios can be going from 28 millimeter speakers to 24 millimeter speakers.
No, don't.
Don't
do that, please.
That's what I think he was saying, and I know that for a fact. Lando Sabers, because he's just like a committed to 28. He won't even buy a hilt if he can't get like a 28 millimeter speaker in there, and I don't blame him for that, because anything less than that, it's just like I've got this thing right here. I don't know what's in this thing, my Kuryakin.
I remember that one, yeah.
Yeah, well, hold on. It's not very loud. I just installed this is a Profi, but I just installed the Senate by Carbophonic. I cheated.
Hey, it sounds good though.
It sounds good, like through this thing, but
Yeah.
it's not very loud at all. I know how to increase the volume and everything, but whatever.
So I did a comparison, and unfortunately, my Count Mark I has a 24 millimeter speaker in there, and I tried.
okay.
I
You'll have-
wanted to
you'll
get.
have
I
nothing
wanted
wrong
to get a
with that.
28 in there. I just could not fit a 28 in there. But it's a noticeable difference between 28 and 24. And 28 sounds so good, and 24 just doesn't. It just doesn't do it after you hear a 28. You know. And if Saber Trio actually does change to a smaller size, smaller diameter, I don't think that's a good idea because their speakers already sound great as it is.
No, that seems like when he said that, I was just like, that seems like insanity to me because
I feel like it's a stupid move.
I mean,
I will go as far as saying that if they switch to 24 or 22, I'm not going to order another Saber Trio Hilt. I'm sorry.
This thing with a 28 millimeter speaker is pretty much the loudest thing I own. This
And
thing
it sounds good.
Dude!
It has so much richness and bass
at
in it.
90% volume. This thing
Yeah.
booms. It's just like I have to thank you for like selling me this thing because I absolutely love the saber. I'm so used to wielding it now. Like when I first started, handling it, it was really kind of it took some getting used to, but now I actually know the
Really?
yeah.
As soon as I felt like it fit as soon as I touched it. But
I'm always hitting the button. My problem is I have to figure out where to put my hands, and I found that if I put my fingers around the OLED screen, then
that
I'm not
blocks
like,
you from
the,
Yep.
And yeah, this thing is. I don't know. You know what the thing is? Like, I think you need to get a Vectra because everyone has a Vectra.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that the hilt is overrated, but yeah.
Ooh.
I think like the windows and stuff are nice, but I just feel like it's just too much. It's overkill.
Okay, I don't know you because everyone on this channel owns everyone owns a Vectra now, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm happy that
this is a legit question because I know that that Darth Paradigm's cosplay sidearm was the Acolyte or the Arclight. Does this Senza now change that, or is it still the Arclight?
Well, I mean, I love the Arclight design. That was my first Saber Trio, so it has like real, nostalgia for me. But I have to say because like it's almost because Shannon has a Vectra. Sam from Absolute Sabers has a Vectra now.
Darth Ravens has one now too.
Yeah, Ravens has a Vectra. Everyone's getting a Vectra, and it's almost like for me, I've got a Senza, and I'm like one of the only people that has a Senza, and it's just like it's like the same price point, just a little bit. It's in the ballpark, but mine has an OLED screen, and so I mean, what are you gonna do? And you know what I mean. But the thing is, it's not even about that. I mean, I honestly just like I hold this thing and I just like I go outside and I can just swing this thing around forever and a day, even though it has a 36-inch blade. It doesn't matter, and that's always
you don't really notice it when you hold that because it's a long hilt too. So,
and with the the little shrouds and everything. And part of me kind of wishes that it was a standard finish, but then at the same time, the black finish accentuates like all the details of it in a way. This thing has really become, I have to say, probably one of my ultimate favorite sabers, and it took a while for me to kind of fall in love with it, because it was kind of like a little bit larger than what I like for a hilt with the long blade. But man, I got used to this thing so fast, and it helps.
The two chokes are nice. The body feels great on that. And now, when I ordered that Senza, I wanted the standard finish. I thought it looked beautiful.
But I figured that's probably why you ended up like parting with it, was because of that little variable.
Yes. But the dark edition is really nice though, and you're right. You see more of the detail with not from a distance, but when you're holding it, you really do see. I like the detail of the dark edition, but yeah, I wasn't. married to it because I wanted the standard finish or mirrored finish, and I couldn't get that, so I settled for the dark edition, and then I like it very much, but it wasn't what I really wanted, so I had no problem parting with it.
All right. That makes sense.
But I agree with Ike. Like for me, the Reaver is my favorite saber trio. I mean, this thing. I just I love everything about this design. I really like. I haven't fiddled with it since it stopped working, and I'm wondering maybe I just need to update it. Maybe it'll work again, just like my flagship. So
what do you mean it stopped working?
I don't know. I just when I plugged the blade in, it made the click sound, but when I pushed the button, nothing happened. So it just stopped working, and it's fully charged. I just can't get it to power on or boot or do anything. So I don't know what's wrong with it. I need to contact Saber Trio, and I just want to avoid sending it back because that would be like a fourth time I've had to send that thing back for repair.
Wow. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Collector Labs just released a new firmware update, and the thing is like, I know bootloading the bootloader mode for the updates is pretty easy with a 2-button configuration. I have my Aaron, which is a single button. You have to actually use the Rice software for that. So I'm actually in communications with Saber Trio, they're gonna educate me on how to update the the firmware on my Aaron. And the reason I have this freezing issue, which is no longer a problem with, well, I shouldn't say this, but it's no longer a problem with my Senza. And I think it was because the previous version of the firmware kind of had some bugs that were just like hitting me, where I would turn the saber on, it would just freeze with the blade on, and I can't do anything unless I put in a kill key or power cable and reset the board. And it's really a problem with my Aaron. It's not a problem with my Senza now, because I was able to properly update the firmware, because it's really easy when you have the 2-button configurations. It's a matter of you put in the you have to download the configuration, name it, you have to rename it. It's like, I can't remember, it's like UW dot something or other, and then you install it, and then you have to hold the 2-button for 5 seconds, and you can see it blink. Or you can't really see it blink with this, but you just hold it, and then after a while you release, and then it uploads everything, and then it's been pretty responsive. Since we seem to be lingering a little bit, here's an interesting fun fact with my Saber Mock Spectre. My Saber Mock Spectre came installed with 16 blade profiles.
Okay.
And 15 colors. It is just full. It's chock full of different blade profiles. Whereas with a Saber Trio, you get 4 blade profiles, and I don't know how many colors. It's probably 12. And it's just strange that with Saber Mock load. I mean, they loaded it up. Plus, they put they had all the requisite standard CFX sound fonts. They're all smooth swing. Plus, they gave me another 6 fonts. I mean, if you buy something from Saber Mock, they give you your money's worth. They just load that thing up. And
so out of the box, you don't have to do much if you don't want to.
I'm not attacking Saber Trio, but you really. I mean,
but I mean, Saber Trio still sets you up pretty nice too, though.
The 2 sound fonts, the Saber Trio Light and Dark, whatever they're called, the sound fonts that they give you are amazing. They're really.
I like their fonts. The Dark Edition sounds great. The Light sounds great.
I think at this point, with all the blade profile customization, I think they can afford to really load up. I think they could give you a lot more. Give 8 profiles, 8 blade profiles. I think that's the one thing I could recommend to them to up their game a little bit, but I'm not going to criticize them because they're pretty much perfect. Otherwise, you know.
Turtle meme, the primary crystal missing, that is a setting that they do in their configuration. And I know that when you wire up the NeoPixel board, there's a special way to do it so that way it can actually register the primary crystal missing thing. I'm not sure if there's a way to disable that or not. Off the top of my head, I would say no. But if you know how to really deal with it, then yes. So I'm not really sure how to handle that, but at this point, I would say no. That's a configuration that they set up, and it's going to, no matter what you do, when the blade is out, you cannot activate the saber.
I mean, in a way, that kind of makes sense.
Saber is the only one that does that.
It's not like they have what do you call it? The like LEDs in the pin section, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so unless you put a blade plug in there, it's sort of a proclivity, but I don't know. Maybe they have a reason for that.
I mean, it's a cool feature, but at the same time, it kind of sucks because if you don't have a blade in, you can't swing it or do anything.
Yeah,
and I like swinging sabers without blades in. People make a big deal about it.
That's exactly what the weight of a lightsaber should be.
Thank you. People will say, "Oh, where's the blade? There's no blade in there." I'm like, I don't need a blade. It's a lightsaber.
This is the weight that it should be.
Yes.
And everything that you do,
it without.
When you go like this, you cut your head off. You know, it's easy. You know,
I like swinging it without a blade in.
Yeah, it's fun.
It feels more realistic to me.
Yeah. That's sort of like when you have the thing with the temperature. It's kind of endemic with Darth Cephalus addressed, and he indicated like what you need to do to go into
change that
configuration and adjust that. Where it's like temperature level critical. Well, that's like really obnoxious.
It is.
There's a lot of
it's annoying, and you can change that because you don't really need it. And the default setting is pretty low for that. So as soon as it gets a little bit warm, it's going to tell you.
Yeah. I don't know why they set things to the things they set things to sometimes. Like you immediately have to go in there and make adjustments to to certain things just to make them functional.
I like the Saber Trio configuration overall. But there's some things that, you want to tweak to make it better.
It's funny because with my Aaron, like I said, I'm talking to Saber Trio, and they're like, well, what was the last firmware update version that you put in there? And I'm just like, well, I'm contacting you now because I don't know how to do it. So one must assume that it hasn't been done before. And like the last time it was done was when I sent it to you to have it upgraded from Biscotti V4 to CFX, and then I didn't do shit with it. Mm-hmm. And now I'm talking to you, so it's just sort of like I don't know what version firmware it is. I don't know how that's kind of like relevant for wanting to put in the latest firmware, which
correct.
I kind of know how to do it. Because I actually read the CFX manual. It's just when I went to actually do it, the software was like, we don't care that you read the manual. You're an idiot. Like, forget about it. We're not going to do it. You know, it's all bootloader mode.
Red Fox. Yeah, I use that too. I have a little 7-inch NeoPixel blade that I put in sometimes, and I just sling that so I can see the color and the effect, but I don't necessarily have the length. And I like to use these in my review videos too. Some people hate when I use short blades. So why is it so short? Why is it so short? Like, well, I have the camera zoomed in. I can't put a 32-inch blade on here and swing it around, and you can hear this, all the sounds. And I'm going to end up whacking the table or breaking the camera. So I use the short ones, and then I just save the full length blade for my demos.
I would really like to get a short blade for my demos and whatnot.
I actually got mine through Electrum Sabercrafts.
I've actually seen a few like for sale, like on eBay and whatever. I guess when it's that short, you don't have to worry about necessarily the quality.
Yeah, like I ordered this one through Electrum Sabercrafts, and honestly, I should just made my own because I want it a little bit longer. Because some of the ones that have like a deep blade depth, this hardly sticks out. But then I made this one for my baselets, and I'm not sure how long it is, but if this one's 7 inches, this is probably about 9 or 10. But this one's a really great length. So I just took a Saberforge V4 Infinity and just cut it down.
How do you generally cut down blades? How do you cut down blades? Because I have my own way of doing it, which is really bohemian, but it works for me.
Well, mine isn't because I have some tools, but not the best. But I honestly just use a hacksaw on it. It wasn't clean, it wasn't great, but I use a hacksaw and then I sanded the end to get rid of the rough edges, and it works.
Basically what I do is I remove the film, I measure it out, I take a knife and I mark off where I want to cut. I get in with a hacksaw and I cut it nice and straight, and then I have like a really sharp knife and I just kind of like whittle off all the extra flare and like smooth it out and get nice and flat. I don't really sand it or anything like that because I figure it's going into the hill as long as it has like a fairly decent seam. It's not like light's going to be escaping. And then usually what I'll do is I'll put it after I clean everything out. Then you put in the film, kind of measure it out. I just take I have a scissors. You can just pinch it, cut it like just nice and straight, get it in there. I mean, it's like really easy. And it's one of those things I meant to do like a video on at one point, but I could just
You should.
I know, but the thing is liability. I could see someone like cutting themselves with a hacksaw, and the thing is like with the hacksaw,
put a disclaimer in there.
Yeah, disclaimer, right? I mean, that's never stopped a lawsuit. It's like,
but if it's there, they have no case.
What happened to Paradigm? Well, yeah, after that $150 million lawsuit, the kid cut off his finger. He went on a shooting spree. Never mind. Anyway, so the thing is like I just kind of like my formal way of doing it is like where I'm cutting is about 3 or 4 inches away from my hand, and I just kind of strong arm the thing because I don't have a clamp, because I don't want to put the blade in the clamp and have the blade get dented from the clamp,
or if it twists and then you get the scratches on there.
The stupid blades get like marred so easily, so I just hold it against like a towel. It's like really, really technical, and I just go, and then eventually the blade will like stop. You'll be like, oh man, what am I gonna do now? So you can take that thing out and you start again. It's like I don't want it to be at like a weird angle now, and whatever. It's just like the thing is just like if you're desperate for a blade, you go to Ultra Sabers, you get some grab bag blades, they send you some shitty blades, you cut them down to whatever you want, you throw them in the
it doesn't matter if you want.
Done. Doesn't matter if you get a 36 inch, you can make it a 32 or a 30 or 28 or whatever the hell you want for like whatever hell you're dealing with. The only thing I don't know how to do is resize the NeoPixel blade. Like if I could learn how to do that.
That's actually not you'd have to undo the PCB cap, pull that out.
Try that.
Cut down the blade, keep this in complete, snip the LEDs off the top, and then just reduce the configuration for how many LEDs you have left, and it should work. But as long as the bottom side is still connected, you should be good. I shall return. You don't buy beer, you're in it.
Oh boy, I'm all by myself now. Hi everybody. How's it going? All right, let's take a look at some of these some of these here comments. What was this say? Yeah, I mean, Ultra Saber blades are just, I mean, $10 a blade. Yeah, they're just meant to be, they're just beater blades. And Ultra Saber blades are actually pretty damn decent. I have, that's the one product that they produce that isn't like a complete shit show, you know. Even the grab bag blades, which are supposed to have flaws, I've never received one that isn't like, you know, useful. Dirt. Slow down, people. Turtle helm. Beer has like about a 1 hour rental period. Comes in and it goes out. It's the circle of life. It goes back into the ecosystem, gets recycled by nature. It's what makes new beer, and then it comes back to me, and the whole thing repeats. I don't know. I did Isaac. I did a survey on my channel. I asked what everyone wanted, and apparently everyone wants a curved hilt saber. I personally think that they're going to do some kind of cross guard, but who knows? I don't think anybody actually knows like what the what they're going to produce, because I mean they haven't revealed anything.
I will reveal my vote. I voted for the curved hilt, but I do know after speaking with Saber Trio last year, they said that they don't have any plans for a curved hilt, but the cross guard is more likely.
You bastards!
Yeah.
I will be back. My turn. You entertain the masses.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's on me. But yeah, me personally, I like the idea of curved hilts. I think they're awesome. I think they look good. Are they the most practical? Probably not. But the cross guard seems to be the easier mass-produced saber or hilt design than a cross guard, than a curved hilt. Sorry. And having installed a curved hilt, I mean, those things can get pretty annoying. But a cross guard, that's definitely doable. And I'm very interested to see what Saber Trio would do with a design of a cross guard. I think they would probably do it better than anyone else that I've seen on the market outside of the Kylo Ren, designed hilt. But yeah, I really like curved hilts for sure. I think the Saberforge Bane, that's really cool. I have a Vanquish, which is really nice. Of course, Count Dooku. I mean, his isn't really like curved. Like, I'll just pull them up so you can see. But so here's Dooku's, the first curved hilt in Star Wars that we've seen. And if you look at it, the body is straight. The pommel is straight, and you have what we call an elbow crook here. But when it comes to actually swinging the saber, the pommel portion doesn't really add to a curved hilt design. But then the emitter, which is only subtle, very slightly curved. And they say, oh, it's to give you surprising angles of attack, but that's not really true or what you need. The whole point of the curved hilt is that way you can do more points and stabs, and that's what allows you to do that. But then you look at the Vanquish, and this is a true curve because the body itself is completely curved. So if you're holding it here, then you're going to get those surprising angles of attack, which is total bullshit. But more so, you get more stabs with a fencing
I just
type
don't think
style.
you're using it right, man.
Yeah. There we go. Just trying to entertain the masses while you took a leak. That was a quick leak, by the way.
I have skills.
No, they won't.
No, everything that Emery just said was like perfectly legit. Wrong, but I mean, whatever.
Hey, there's historical swordplay facts, and then there's the lore and the mystique of, science fiction.
There is. No, I mean, like eventually, like one of these days, I'm gonna travel to Belgium. I'm gonna hang out with you. We're gonna duel. Neither of us really duel.
Yeah, we don't. I
Maybe, like,
know. I
it's
don't
gonna be
know.
a joke.
I just
But, I
look
mean,
at
like,
Flash Span to have fun.
You and I could go and like hang out with Shannon at Forge by Light, but then we just get our sabers broke. Yeah. Because he'd have like Kodeko would show up, and eventually all three of us would be like, "What the hell happened to our sabers?"
Yeah,
Kodeko
I'd have to make sure I bring a beater saber, something that I won't miss if something.
What happens. I would bring is I'd bring my what the hell is my light armory weapon, whatever the thing that is like. I get this like one saber that's essentially just like a hunk of steel. Like a blade that's meant to never be broken.
Mm-hmm.
Is it your lady?
Oh no, that's just me opening some.
That's you? Like with one? Oh, what? How we? What kind of? What kind of Jedi powers were you using there?
I tried to put it like under the table so you wouldn't hear it, but
this is how come you're like so sober. It's like I've been drinking. This is like my fourth beer. I haven't been snacking the whole time.
I am not saber. I'm not saber. Wow. I am. That's proof. I am not sober right now.
Yeah, but you got snacks.
Well, I thought ahead this time. I brought snacks because I knew. Plus, I'm lazy and didn't want to get up to go grab some, so I just started.
I mean, I could go upstairs. I could get some snacks. I'm not hungry. I just want beer.
Just
all right,
let's get a higher gravity beer, and you can just drink
Obviously,
your dinner.
this is going slightly past 9 o'clock. Okay, so let's see what we got going on here.
Yeah, it's going on 10
now.
now.
My Saberforge Bane Mark II from Isaac.
Bane, okay.
New speaker, my Mark 1.
The Bane Mark II was what really brought me into the whole saber world. And that was what I wanted. And at the time that I was going to order, it was out of stock. And I emailed Saberforge and said, "Hey, is the Bane Mark II going to come back in stock?" And it says, "Yeah, just give it some time." And I thought, okay, I don't have time. I want a saber now. So that's when I ordered the Vanquish because it was the next best curved hilt that they offered. And honestly, I'm glad that I have it because it can still be a two-handed saber, whereas the Bane is just a one-handed saber. But still, the Bane is just an incredible-looking saber. And because I like that emitter so much, that's when I did my ASP, and I got the Bane emitter. And then that's when I did the switch section and the body and the pommel, and then ended up calling it the Baron instead of the Bane.
But your real true love for a curved hilt saber.
The Bad Axe. Yes. And honestly, I don't see myself doing any big saber purchases anymore except for that one. Like the Saberforge count, that was $720 because I did Hero Tier, NeoPixel with Blade Plug and all this other stuff. It came to $720 after my discounts. I got it for $781. But to me, that was a big purchase. I don't see myself spending that much for a saber again until the Bad Axe from Genesis Custom Sabers. But when I did my first ASP saber, I did this one because I wanted that Bane emitter because I just think it's really, really cool. And I just did all weathered pieces and try to get a pommel that kind of reflected and balanced the emitter. But yeah, I've got this on my lightsaber workstation, and I'm working on getting this installed with the Golden Harvest V3.
I follow Rob on Instagram, Rob from Genesis Custom Sabers, and he seems to like sort of be at that point in his life right now where he's just trying to enjoy life. And I don't get the impression that he's focusing too much on the sabers unless he's producing just like an artisan exquisite piece that belongs in a museum. You know, something like truly amazing. Like, did you see Lando Sabers? He had his he had the speeder. He had like the one of the very first speeder sabers that you know, it's kind of like horn. Is it a horn or is it just the speeder? Is that like a different
Just a
thing?
speeder, yeah.
Yeah, and he just had that thing, and it was just you know, exquisite. But that, I mean, that's the kind of work that like that Rob from Genesis Custom Sabers does. I mean, like, you know, you look at this thing, and this is pretty simple. It's pretty elegant. But if he were to customize this thing, I mean, it's just like a completely open canvas, and he would take his vector, which he doesn't produce anymore, which is why this thing's like invaluable to me.
Yeah.
He would just like, if he decided to, he can make it into like something that belongs at the New York Museum of like Art, you know.
The concave body with the recessed switches does it for me on that one. That looks like it's a very comfortable saber to fit in your hand.
This thing is as natural. This thing is as natural to me to like wield as, I mean, literally. I have this weird fantasy that isn't sexual. Don't worry. Relax. Everybody relax. Based on a Star Trek episode. Do you remember the episode of Star Trek where the original series where the creature came aboard the Enterprise, trapped a bunch of Klingons and a bunch of Federation officers in the secondary hull, and had them fight out,
doing imaginary weapons and making them fight. Yeah.
Yeah, it turned all the phasers and everything and all the like the weapons that could actually like
swords.
Yeah, into swords.
And it was defeated by them laughing.
Yeah. And so this creature had the power to do that. And what it was doing was trying to maintain the animosity between people because it fed off of the negative energy. So it kept them alive. Mm-hmm. And I've always kind of thought that would be interesting if there was some kind of paradigm where like the world somehow, like if you're like a lightsaber enthusiast like we are. Yeah. And whatever hilt you have on you or near you actually became a real working lightsaber. And of course, you know, the joke and the meme is like, if I had a lightsaber for 2 minutes, I'd totally cut my arm off, you know, I'd be dead within minutes. You know, and that's true because we like half of us would die. And it's sort of like a Kirito from what's the sword art online kind of thing where like, you know, you'd have a lightsaber and it would be sort of like your key to survival. This would probably be the one that I would want. This is probably my most natural hilt, and it's a very simple thing. Like you said, it's like kind of curved in the middle, reset switches, and you know, this is just something that was produced by Genesis Custom Sabers, and you know, Rob just he doesn't make them anymore, so to me, it's even more valuable. But wow, I've rambled on for quite a bit, haven't I?
Yeah, that's quite all right.
Yeah,
there's much to be said when it comes to sabers. I mean,
so Emery, like you know, so I've pretty much established that my vector is probably like, if I had a choice, it'd be the one saber that would be like, if I were in the Star Wars universe, I would only hope that I would have a hilt like this that I can actually wield with the skill that I feel like would be necessary to survive. For you, what would be your what would be the one that, even if it could be like one that you don't own, like the Bad Axe, but what do you feel like you would need to have as your kit to just for basic survivability, something you can actually make work.
That's tough. Because I haven't held the bad axe, but every time I look at, like when I feel the vanquish, I like the curve, but it's a bit heavy and almost a tad too long. So when I see the bad axe, I look at that as that would be a hilt that would suit me well. So even though I haven't held it, I would say maybe that one. But if not that, from one that I own, I would probably have to say the Saber Trio Reaver is one that suits me well. And when it comes to comfort, I like the Exalted because I really like the thin neck design. But what really does it for me on this one is it doesn't have a control box because I like the look of control boxes, but I don't like the feel. It just doesn't make sense to me. But this doesn't have that. I've got the grenade grip. I've got the thin neck there to help balance. And I've got the body here too. So this is a good one too, even though it was a female saber, but it feels really good. But I guess if I
feel
had
like
to
the
choose
Reaver
one,
I feel like the Reaver would be a better fit for you. It's
Yeah.
it's such a robust hilt. It just seems like what's key is to have like the proper grip and handling of like a saber. This thing is just like I can do anything with this.
Mhm.
You know, like I look at the Exalted as a beautiful hilt, but it's almost like I don't know. It's kind of it's very, very specific being a thin neck. Although beautiful, I've never really felt like thin necks were a very practical weapon. Whereas the Reaver just, as I own a Reaver, it's just FX.
It makes sense.
That saber, it just feels like you could go out in the field of battle. You could swing that thing with wild abandon or with finesse, whatever you do with that thing.
Yeah.
It's going to carry you through the battle, whereas like any other hilt, maybe not so much.
And it has a certain intimidation factor to it too. Like when you see these claws on both ends, it kind of says, "Don't mess with me."
But the thing is that choke point, like right under the switch, that little scallop section, that is so exquisite. Hey, anybody out there that wants to get themselves a Saber Trio, the Reaver, you can't go wrong, right? That it is such a gratifying hilt. I wish yours was working. I think you really need to explore the options to get that thing up and running because it's really, really, really necessary.
I do.
I like how you have a red switch on yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was I went with the red switch and the gold cover tech. Yeah. I wanted to have the claws powder coated too, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But I was thinking about having those powder coated red. Yeah.
I have the red switch on my Mira, and one of my it's my
and it looks good because your Mira is weathered. No, you have an arc light that's weathered with a red switch too, don't you?
I have an arc light that's weathered with a red switch, and then I have the Mira,
very good.
Standard finish. And I have the red switch and the red tassel on it. And I love the red tassel because it annoys the hell out of people because they don't like the clickety clack. I can't use it for like font demo reviews, but for me, you see, like as a Bushido practitioner, these are the little things that like you can't let bother you. I just dismiss them outright. And I do love that hilt. I just haven't found that sound font that like exemplifies that part. Okay, that's not right. I actually love the Sifo Diaz. I don't know if it's Saberforge or Kaseth, the lost one. I love that sound font on my Mira. Yeah, and of course with my Senza, I absolutely adore. Like Jesse,
it's a great saber. It's a great saber.
Jesse from Cyberpunk, he just created a work of art with the son of Australia, which is kind of interesting because I had no interest in that sound font until I heard it. And I was like, ooh, that's for me. Let's see.
Yeah, those. It's crazy. I have not purchased or updated any of my. BK did bunch of updates on his sound fonts, and I've downloaded them, but I haven't put them on my sabers yet. I need to do
He's
that.
become one of my favorite
He's
sound
good.
font
He's
makers.
good.
That guy,
He is good.
I have some sound fonts from him that I absolutely love. The guy, and he's cool too. He interacts, with my my channel when I do reviews. And
The only issue that I have with BK's fonts is that sometimes he has this weird thing where you start swinging it, or you try to turn it off, and it just dies. Like the sound just cuts.
That's it. That's the one problem I have.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is or why it does that.
And it only happens with his sound fonts, and I don't know why. It's like it's a weird little quirk. Every single sound font too. You'll actually like this is actually, I think, is this BK? This is Afterlife.
Okay.
And what happens? You'll swing it. There it goes.
Yes.
That's it.
I don't know what that is, but all of his fonts do that.
Let's
I
see if I
don't
can
know
do
why.
that again.
Yep.
I don't know why it happens with his sound fonts, and it doesn't matter. Now, if I wasn't swinging it,
And it turns off just yeah.
but if you're swinging it,
yeah.
so I am not doing this to shit on him because I absolutely love his sound fonts. He's produced some of my absolute favorites, but that has to be dealt with.
Yeah, it's and like you said, it's everyone. Like I have like 6 or 7 of his fonts, and all of them do that. Like you swing it around and it just cuts. But if you don't go crazy with the swinging, it turns off normal. I'm not really sure why that is, but
I mean,
but that is the only downside to him. I mean, it's not a deal breaker by any means. I like his sound fonts very much.
You know what? I find it really interesting. Like Lando Sabers, he's always going on about people attacking, sound font makers. When people aren't happy with their product, I tend to myself support every sound font maker because, I mean, they're really the ones that make this shit happen. And like everyone has. It's like I play World of Tanks religiously. You have good games, you have bad games. Sometimes you have a sound font that works. Sometimes you have a sound font maybe not so much. Unless you're like the GOAT, like Jesse from Kyberphonic or Keenan from KSeth, where it's just like everything they seem to produce is just like, how do you guys do that? I don't know if anybody has seen that new setup that Jesse got with the, on Instagram. He showed a picture of his like new sound mixing setup, and it just looks like the cockpit to like a jet airliner. And it's just like everyone's commenting like, okay, what are you going to be producing now? How amazing is that going to be?
And he's totally wireless now too. Like one of his last font things he did, I mean, he was just swinging the saber, and he had that total like studio sound, and he has no wires. You don't even see a mic pickup at all. Like he stepped it up.
Yeah. I don't.
But if I could only choose one font maker to put on my sabers, it would probably be KSith. I just think he's on a level that to me is a step above the rest. I don't know. I like KSith.
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't even like begin to like.
But there's so many good font makers out there and great fonts,
Yeah. I have just the utmost respect to anybody that can create these things because I don't have like my forte is digital printing. I can digital print like no one's has. I've got skills that people can't even conceive of.
But then you should start designing some hilts then.
Well, no, that's the thing. It's like that's my forte. But then I see people doing installs, and I see people designing sound fonts, and people have their niches where their skills are. And you know, it's the old axiom, like man's got to know his limitations is true. And I know where my skill set is, and I rely on other people to provide me with what it is that I want. And as far as this is an interesting subject, as far as like sound fonts go, the one thing I'm not really into is I don't want outrageous sound fonts just for the sake of them being outrageous. And like I like what is this name?
Grayscale.
Grayscale. I like it,
I don't.
but they're a little bit too outrageous for my taste.
Correct.
Whereas
To me,
BK Saber,
he ventures too far outside of what a lightsaber would sound like to me.
BK Sabers, he'll take a sound font, he'll take a concept, and he'll manifest something that just like what he recently did with Afterlife without the cutouts. He was constantly modifying it and like messages. He messaged me based on my input on one of his one of his previous iterations of the Afterlife sound font, and he made changes based on my input, which I'm just like, geez, dude, that's like the ultimate sign of like, I'm so honored that you listened to me, and like, and what he ended up producing was, and I'm not going to do this to get the effect of like the cutout, but this sound font was really subtle in the hum, and he really boosted the hum. And he added a lot of accent swings. And if you just listen to this,
is that the one with the kind of like the crystal kind of sound in there?
not this one. Hold on,
Because I like that one a lot, and you did a demo on that too, like 2 weeks ago or last week.
Our time has come. I am the Inquisitor, Supreme Leader. Lone Cyber Temple.
I have so many sound fonts.
An elder.
Maybe it's this one. I'm not sure. No, it's not that one. This is actually a interesting story behind that sound font.
I like his Anguish too. Anguish is a good one.
No, come on. YMB. Too drunk.
Bank selection. Audio player. SD card.
I guess I don't have it on this hill, but I think I have this on the sound font I'm thinking of. I have it on my Sovereign.
This is General Kenobi.
Yeah. Anguish is.
Photon blade.
I'm just gonna leave it here because I don't care anymore. Woo! Basically, sound fonts are the shit. See, all you guys that produce this stuff for us, you're god tier. To quote Sound Nerd, you're god.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can have a great soundboard, you can have a good looking hilt, but none of that's going to matter if you don't have the right font to load on it. And so they all make, play an integral part in the realism and the immersion of the Star Wars lightsaber.
Yeah.
But you can take a cheap, shabby looking hilt and have a great sound font, and you're on to something. Because let's face it, as beautiful as the hilt is, most of it's covered up by your hand anyway. So if you're swinging it and you got that smooth swing and you got a good font, that's all I need. It's great.
What I was thinking of is it's on my Sovereign. and my Sovereign is like the most basic. It's not the elite. It's not powder coated. It's just like a really, really plain hilt. For Invader's Vault, it's really plain hilt. But I use PK Saber's Saber Assassin is the sound font that's my default on that hilt. And it's just like, you know, he produces sound fonts that are just sort of tailor-made to a specific hilt in your collection.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, so does the, you know, Carbifying Saber, K-Sith, you know, everyone. You have to find that like one sound font that just kind of like jives with that particular hilt that you love.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of font makers, the Arctic Jedi, I mean, he's another one that he does some good stuff. He doesn't quite have the repertoire yet, but when he puts out a good font, it's good, you know. And when he did that Plo Koon font for me, I mean, he made me so happy with that. And I was constantly communicating with him saying, change this. I'd like to hear this. I'd like to hear that. And he did it. And he would like come back to me with the edits, like the same, like within a matter of like within an hour, like he would just fix it and change it. And it sounded great. And he's another one. I think if he had more time and invested more, he could really be more popular.
Well, I love his Revan sound font. That's my favorite Revan sound font. And he has an Ayla Secura sound font, Security. That's also another one of my favorites. That's my go-to. His Security sound font is my go-to on my my Genesis Custom Sabers Creed. It's just like a good fit, you know. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I did talk to him briefly, and he said he's got a lot of stuff in the works, but it's just sort of like you get these periods where it just seems like people sort of like, you know, seem to slip off the radar a little bit, kind of like I did this week with content on my channel.
And he has, like the last, actually couple of months, he hasn't put out much. He doesn't really comment, or you don't see him, you know, he doesn't have much YouTube traffic here lately. So I hope he's doing okay. I should reach out to him. Sometimes he'll message me on Messenger and, you know, see how things are going. I should check in on him and see how he's doing.
He, you know, he's really kind of like, I find him, I love the kid. He's a little bit infuriating sometimes because he's a little bit critical in ways that, like, as a 55-year-old man, it's just like, dude, you're just a kid. Don't say that shit to me. Sometimes, but I do like him, and for me, he's OG because he and I were friends back when Sidious Sabers was around, and
same here.
For me, like the thing
remember,
is,
he did a Sidious Sabers sound font too.
Yeah, and like, you know, I have a lot of, like, I've been in this game like long enough that I've seen a lot of channels come and goes, and I got a lot of feels for a lot of like, you know, especially Sidious, which, you know, he just basically vanished with really no answers per se as to why. I mean, there was like notions, but I don't know like any idea like what his health or his status is, or if he's still alive, or if he's just moved on to completely other things. But he, you know, it's just, it's like, so it kind of hurts. Like, you know, when you think about, like, I would love to watch one of his videos.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't really like him. Like, you know,
well, because Sidious was all about the sabers. He wasn't exciting by any means. He was very bland, and to many standards, very boring. But he showed a lot of sabers. He showed good sabers, and he was very thorough and specific on what he shared. And honestly, he was what motivated a lot of like my review format and process. I'm so detailed in my reviews because I try to keep alive and continue what Sidious started. But at the same time, I did feel that he was very bland, which is why I try to make mine a little bit more interesting, my videos. but I would very much like to see a City of Sabers video again, because I mean, he had a pleasant voice. He showed the sabers well, and he always gave us very thorough information.
He inspired me because like I find that a lot of the channels really rely far too heavily on the graphics and the fancy. It's too much.
BK's in the house, by the way.
Like not enough substance, you know. And I tend to like you have like, you know, you're like me. I like to take like a little bit of a gimmick, incorporate it into my video. I like to use my personality to make the video entertaining. I don't always have the option because 9 times out of 10 when I do a video, I'm exhausted and I'm producing content because I want to, but at the same time, I'm just like checked out, just doing the best that I can. And I'm also kind of like one of these people that, like, you know, it is what it is. You either hate it or you don't, or you like it or whatever. Sometimes things are like, wow, everyone really hated that, or everybody really liked it for some reason. And I kind of like the just sort of the unpredictable nature of that. But I'm not trying to produce MTV videos. Who gives a shit? I don't need my video to be like so bombastic and like, you know, and just like I just want to like I like the lightsaber. I don't have all the time in the day. I'm a working man. I'm not going to spend like 20 weeks making a video, 16 hours in a studio editing it. Like, you know, if you can't handle the fact that I like took a couple hours to shoot a video and I shot that thing together to the best of my ability with free software, and I like presented it to you because this is something I'm passionate about. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button, go nuts, because that's all you're going to get from me, because I don't do this as a business. I just do this because I love the community. I love everybody.
People forget that this is just a hobby, and if I'm not uploading something, it's because I have real life things that take priority over doing that at the moment, you know.
But conversely, everyone has different skill sets, and everybody has different ideas of like what they do like. So for all y'alls that like produce these videos, they're just like boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's Cowboy Bebop, by the way.
Okay.
Go for it. You guys are awesome at it. I suck at that shit because I don't care. It's like, here's my saber. You like it? Okay. You don't like it? Well, why don't you go fuck yourself, okay? You know, it's like, that's fine. I want to see the, what? Shannon, we're in the Matrix. Haven't you seen what's going on out there in the world? It's the Matrix.
That's why everything tastes like chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Holy crap. Number 5.
Yeah, for those folks that are just tuning in, just to spruce you up, this actually went much longer than we thought it would. But we both unboxed the Saberforge Eco Defender, and I have the standard edition and Scott has the weathered edition, and we have both. He gave it a 9 out of 10, I gave it an 8 out of 10, and we both agree that the electronics have made a big step up, and this generation is much better than the previous. So this is a purchase and a buy, definitely worth it. It's a great saber, feels good, looks good, and worth every dollar.
Except that last one.
Worth every dollar?
Yeah, almost.
Honestly, the upcharge wasn't necessary. If they kept it where it was, then I would say great. You know, probably would give it a 9 at that point. But 145, they should have kept it at the 120, 130, whatever it was.
Do you get a military discount?
Yes. Not on Eagle Sabers, though. Not on Eagle Sabers.
No, well,
or
not
mystery
on
boxes.
Eco Sabers. Not on Eco Sabers. So
no Ecos, no mystery sabers.
So
only on the full
if
stuff.
I decide to order a Renegade, with a veteran tier soundboard, I'm gonna have you order it for me so you get the discount. But then you'll ship it to me and it'll cost a lot more. That doesn't make sense. It's like Chewbacca defense. This is
However, I do get to ship USPS through the on base, so it doesn't cost much. I don't think I paid more than $12 to ship something.
listen. I'm like really close to Westover Air Force Base, and we have F-15s. They fly overhead. Like the ceiling is about 1,000 feet over my fucking house. You could just have them airdrop that shit. And send a couple F-15s, airdrop that shit. I know you're not in the Air Force, but whatever. It's all the same shit. Come on, man. Walk with me.
You know you don't want to see your saber flying through the air and hit the ground.
No, I'll catch it.
Okay.
I got skills. Just make sure I'm here. Like
So now
text.
now you have to pay the tracker on the box so you know exactly where it's going to land. And that's going to cost you.
Come on, man. Why aren't you willing to work
with me here?
What's going on here?
No, they won't.
Hey, look, Isaac. Ike wants you to do an install for him. See?
Oh, he has new sabers coming. He's excited.
Don't.
Suck, but I can't shut him off. Nice. Yeah,
Oh,
I could probably knock out an install or two. Yeah, I used the military discount to order the count. So it was originally 720, and I got it for 681. So that was very helpful.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, military personnel deserve all the discounts that they get and everything, but not all of them. But the fighting men, I'm like.
Boots on the ground. Let's go.
The guys in Afghanistan. Oh, wait a minute. We're not.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we're not there anymore. Yeah.
Where are we still?
But hey, we did provide music for those that were coming in from Afghanistan. So.
That's a valuable service too.
It is.
It makes
welcome for your freedom.
Freedom.
It's an important thing.
It really is. Freedom from America.
That's true, Ike. The MHS hilts are very easy to work on because there's a lot of space. It's easy to get chassis for them. So yeah, working on Ultra Saber's hilts is it's ideal. Saberforge hilts are just fun to work on just because they're great hilts, but they're a little smaller and a little more tedious. I found that I had to really manage my wires much better in a Saberforge hilt, but Ultra Sabers or MHS hilt doesn't matter. Just throw it in there; it'll fit.
The weird thing with MHS hilts is usually I'll see someone come up with a really cool design, throw together the hilt and have a nice install, and then I'll see MHS in the title and it's just kind of I don't know, something about MHS. I don't know. Just the idea that they bought all their parts from the custom saber shop, maybe.
Shop, yeah.
I don't know why that's a lot of the
They're
parts,
very generic.
Yeah. That's right. You do, Shannon.
No,
That sign, Ing, love you. What? Now we're just caught up reading. We're just reading. Turtleheim memes. It's Ultra Saber's hilts are easy to solve, but I wish they didn't have that random thing in the center. Also, Emery, I know you have installed a few as I followed your Verso tutorial. That default switch huge.
Yeah, they use 16 millimeter, and I prefer 12 millimeter. The 16 millimeter is huge.
But like this is a 12 millimeter, and this is a 16. Plus, they include the
Okay.
bezel. You know, so when you do that with the bezel, like it sometimes it's just too much. You know, I prefer 12 over 16.
So Vader's Vault just switched over. They do their Revan Elite. They do the Revan and the Revan Elite. They used to use a 16 millimeter momentary switch. Now they use the little what do you call them? Like tactile switches, little tiny ones.
Yeah,
Teeny ones.
little tactile.
And I mean, I have a Revan Elite with the 16 millimeter, and I'm like perfectly fine with it. I actually have a hard time with the tactile switches. I tend to, for some reason, I like, specifically on my Sovereign, my Vader's Vault Sovereign. I'll be swinging that thing around, and I'll roll my fingers on the switches, and I'll activate Spectrum, and I'll be like, "Hey, I'm doing a demo for you guys."
And that's annoying, especially when you have a color that you like, and then it switches, and you're like, "Oh
It
man,
happens
I gotta
every
find my
time.
color again."
You're going like this. You're like, you're really killing it. You're just like feeling it. Spectrum.
Yeah.
People. Okay. It's just like, oh God, man.
And that's very frustrating. Very frustrating.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Ultimate Works RVS, yeah. Like I don't know what it is. I like any of this the Asteria Heart. You know, you'll do a clash. Like, you know, I'll just be like screwing around with the thing, and I'll do a clash, and it'll change like color. And it does that. It says color switch. And you're like, no color switch. No color switch. I don't want the color switch.
Color switch.
That's not what I wanted. And then you have to go like color switch, color switch, color switch, color switch, color switch, color switch, color switch. That's my red. You know, it's just like, I don't know why that is. That's just like a weird thing.
And that's one thing I like about, I guess, like D3 or the stunt sabers is you have these profiles. And so if you get off or change the color, you just go back to your profile, and then boom, you're done. You don't have to cycle through all this stuff just to get back to the red that you want.
Certain soundboards, they won't switch color on you. Like that's just like a thing with a stereo hard CFX. Sometimes I have a hard time with color changing. Like if it happens with a Profi saber, it's such a rare event. It's almost like nice. It's like
because you have to twist at a certain angle to get it to, you know.
And whatever the hell it is you did, and it's just like it's like, oh wow, I'm changing color. Woo, woo, wow. What happened? Oh, okay. How do I make it turn off? Oh my God! It's just like, you know, it's a rare occurrence.
Thanks, Kevin. Glad to have you here, and also, like, I know I've seen you comment on both our videos, so it's nice to see you join us on this live.
It's like, how'd you end up in the insane asylum? It's just like sabers. I don't know, kept color switching on me. I don't know. Lost it.
Colors.
It's like one day I woke up, color switch, color switch, color switch.
Oh man, you're gonna that's gonna be in your dreams tonight.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I am so tired and so drunk right now. By the time I hit that pillow, it's done. Dunsville.
Yeah, I'm about Dunsville. It's 4:23 here. I'm about Dunsville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loser. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, actually, like it's oh, wow, it's 10:30 here. Not too bad. But we've been at this for an hour and a half longer than we intended to. So
intended, yeah. But see,
and
that's what happens when you have fun. Yeah.
I dare say the last hour and a half was probably the shining. I don't know. Like, what do you want from Word.
You volunteered that information. Oh, that puts you at 4. I think you're 1 beer ahead of me.
Yeah. 9.1, my friend.
Yeah.
Tiny little girl beers. Yeah, you are drinking the little girl
Since
beer.
when is 8.4% tiny little girl
Oh,
beer?
this is
Okay.
my first beer. I have to drink these really, really tiny beer.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Next time, I'm going to pull out a 15%er and I'm going to shut your ass up.
Send me one of those. Send me one of those. Where do you get that? That's illegal in America.
Well,
Come on,
send me
man.
one of your. Well, I'm not in America. Send me one of your sabers, then we'll talk.
I'll send you my prodigy. Okay.
Yes. If you don't, I'm going to order a veteran tier 1.
All right. Okay. So before we go, I want to ask anybody out there. Is anybody out there getting any of the has placed an order or plans on placing order with dun 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 Ultra Sabers for some of their newest technology? Newest technology.
If you want to call it new.
Beyond
basically, we want to know who is getting the, what is it called? Ultra Pixel?
Ultra
Can't
Pixel.
remember. Ultra Pixel? Yeah.
Ultra Pixel. Come on.
Turtle gave a quick hard no. Yeah, I'm thinking not too many people that are in the community following our kind of pack would actually order anything like that.
Oh, you mean people that buy real sabers? Oh my god.
Yeah. So I would not be surprised by
There's
that.
got to be at least one of you out there. One of you out there. Come on,
please,
Shannon.
Shannon already has one on back order.
Lies and falsehood, Shannon.
The video he did when he was like, he had the throw, he's like, we grant you, what do you say? NeoPixel, but we do not offer you Smooth Swing. Oh, that was so funny.
That's kind of like one of those things that the Matrix even couldn't screw up, you know? Wait.
You gonna address Kevin's comment there?
Feel like if I were going to go into war, that is actually the hill that we what, an Ultra Saber?
Yeah, I think so.
Really? Like which one? How dare you? I dare. Brother, I dare every single time. You're not gonna get me to like back off with your like words in a text format as a comment.
Oh, he says the Dominics.
I'm waiting.
That's right, Dominics. Yeah.
Well, if Elon Musk says don't buy it, then don't. I mean, it's just like dang. The dang on touch in front of ding dang on thing, making on messed up man. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy that. Dude.
We grant you NeoPixel, but we do not offer you Smooth Swing.
It's the ultimate technology in the entire universe. We will give you the NeoPixel. Yeah.
What's funny is it's not what Shannon said, it's how Shannon said it. But we do not offer you Smooth Swing.
It's like in the stream that we had following that, it was just like, no, dude, you got that fuck ass backwards. It's just like no one. It's like ditch the Smooth Swing. You gotta have like even like the hell's that coming Kyber Light was like we gotta get the Smooth Swing in there first. We gotta start that. We gotta start off with that, and they did an okay job. Backlit, yes, that's fine. Not NeoPixel, whatever. That's coming. That's coming down the line, eventually.
Hey, Kevin's been drinking. He's trying to keep up with us with the drinking there.
Kevin, how many have you had, brother? We want like brand names
and ABV.
Come on, man. Chop, chop. Time's a wasting. We gots to go.
There you go. Four
Four
tall
tall
boys.
boys.
Okay.
All right.
Keeping it cool in a tube sock. Awesome.
All right. So for the next live stream, why don't we just do Long Island iced teas? We'll have like a bank of 8 of them, like real Long Island iced teas.
You know, I've had several Long Islands, but I've never actually made my own Long Island before.
You know, the thing is I've had really well made Long Island iced teas. They will get you screwed up real quick.
Because the best Long Islands, you do not taste the alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. They're just nummy.
Yeah.
And like
And if
what
you do
you're
it right, you drink one and you already feel it.
what you're shooting for is double vision. Okay. Like, okay, and hope you don't have to drive too far to get home, because then you have to close one eye, and then because like if you have enough of them, you're in quadruple vision, and then you close one eye, and then you're only double vision, and then you can try to navigate home. If you're only 5 minutes away, you know, it's a mathematical equation. You know, survivability rates. I'm gonna stop before I. That was years ago. That was a while ago.
Oh, that was another life.
That was in the past. I'm at home now.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm fine. Bake up. I can't bake anything. I'm not a baker. I can do toast. I do toast really well.
I can bake
I
okay.
can make spaghetti. I could probably do like a Betty Crocker thing, you know. But I hate cooking, so that's probably not going to happen. Plus, you know, we got half a planet between the two of us,
Yeah, that's true.
and it's a big fucking planet.
It's like he's making dinner, I'm making breakfast. So
Yeah. Plus, he's got a wife,
yes.
so I don't have one yet. Not for lack of
Sure you
trying.
do.
Well, I've got one of these. I mean,
You have a harem.
why don't you be quiet?
It's true. It's true. You have a harem. You know, you have several
These
wives.
I don't use these for like whatever you're talking about. Okay,
I just feel lightsabers.
hey, if anybody buys a saber from Emery, I would clean that shit real thoroughly before you do anything with it. You don't know where that's been.
What? Hey, you get a saber from Grey Paladin, it's going to be pristine and in prime working order, as you now know.
All right, yeah, with a little work, but
Oh, yeah. That's, how often are you swinging that Senza now? Mm-hmm.
all right, you got me. I think I'm at that point where I'm like in a really good place to call this a night, because I am messed up.
Yeah,
How about you?
it's 4:33 here. This is awesome, and I want to thank everyone, all the comments and questions. This was a fun live stream, and we enjoyed hanging out with you guys.
Everyone that showed up, I mean, just to see us two fools, like, you know, this guy's like my brother from another mother. You know, I just like, you know, just to see only a mere 2 people having a live stream like this. You know, everyone that showed up, that really means a lot. And we had a lot of fun. I definitely had fun.
Yeah, me too. Great. Me too. And I needed this. Yeah, this is great. And we got new sabers that we like. Yay!
Yes. And I can't wait to kind of charge this thing up and like put it through its paces. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll even produce like an actual video on my channel.
Yeah, we'll have to do actual like channel reviews, because we need the content too. So this is great.
And of course, like Emery and I will probably refer to each other, because we're weird that way.
Yeah.
But that bombshell, any parting words that you would like to give to the masses writ large in the entire universe?
All I have to say is this was fun, and I don't think anyone's ever done like live unboxings, so we should try this again sometime. I mean, maybe
You
not the
wanna know
same saber,
something?
but you know,
I think we killed it.
I
Not
think
only
we
was
did
it
too.
the first time, but I think we did the best that will ever be done from any of you fools.
Awesome.
But no,
Well, great. Well, so everybody look forward to our individual reviews that we're going to post on these. And thanks for keeping it real and having fun with us. And as always, thank you for hosting the live stream. It was a pleasure hanging out with you, bud.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's
Anyway.
like that, huh?
So we're gonna wrap this thing up. I'm gonna wish everyone a wonderful weekend. May the force be with you. Thank you for tuning in. This was a hell of a lot of fun. Thank you, Emery.
Thank you.
Dude. You and I are gonna do this.
More
it's
often.
gonna be ubiquitous. We're gonna do this often because, like I said, you're my BFF.
Yeah. Likewise.
All right.
All right, everybody.
Yeah, you have all good night and stuff. Bye.
Ciao.